scuba diving. Did you watch all of that?
Oh yeah, that was a 2 hour long, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you did a first one that was about an hour. But do you think that what he was looking at was the was scuba divers?
I do. I think it's
Yeah,
live
it was definitely
video
something, wasn't it?
manipulation.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you,
think
I
it's
have
you'd
not
think.
seen
definitely
it.
possible.
Well, Walt, it was footage of the Apollo 16 and them doing a space walk, fixing up some crap on the lunar module or something. I don't know. And you could see something with the astronauts moving around with them. It just didn't look right,
It's like
and they were wearing yellow as well, like the yellow. Look, yeah, they should have been wearing black, and they might have been able to get away with that. They might have been able to get away with not being seen properly. But
Well, I
they
think
there was
tried.
a
bear in mind here, Rob, and others, that Jaren's just one person, or Jaren and Missa. You know, there's two people, and they've just randomly chosen some footage from NASA in their underwater training, and they're like, once the hive mind gets hold of this, we're going to see hands, we're going to see flippers, we're going to see all sorts of stuff.
Mm.
You
Back
know,
when I
they
used to spend hours watching the ISS footage myself, like live feed, just like they used to do in the early days of Globebusters, I would see things constantly that didn't make sense. Daylight on one camera, switch to the other, it's still night for 20 minutes and stuff like that. Just like they saw, but I had nowhere to record any of that. I'm just watching it to see it. I mean, yeah, it's that whole thing of how many people start paying attention. You're right, John. It's going to shoot
Yep.
through the roof.
Like the natives seeing the ships for the first time, it takes a while to see it, but when you see it,
yeah, you can't unsee
Can't
it.
stop seeing it, right?
no. But what was I going to say? By the way, this is so true for me, and if it's true for me, I'm like everybody, so it must be true for others. The more and more I watch underwater footage, the more and more it looks like space footage. Now I'm
Oh,
talking about the type of underwater footage like that's grainy, almost like a lake, diving in a lake with a light, or some of the deep undersea movies like Leviathan or that one. It really looks like space. And when you think about all the items, or whatever is floating around in the water, it so looks like space. It looks like those little things flying around in space. I thought I'd add that.
Yeah, no, it does. And the bubbles, the more and more you see it, the bubbles. I'm muted, aren't I?
no,
No.
you're good. You're perfect. Yeah, the video that Mike sent around earlier in the week with all the bubbles in it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I gotta
Someone
say,
commented in chat. Someone commented in chat on that video that bubbles don't move that fast unless they're big. I don't know what you make of that. Bubbles. If you actually watch a bubble, if you're in the water and you blow a bubble, it slowly rises. It actually gains pace as things. So those bubbles do seem to be
There's a
traveling
lot of
fairly
factors.
fast.
But
John and I
Pressure.
scuba dive. I would
being
say,
yeah,
go ahead, John.
scuba diving, yeah. I mean, you release a float bubble or a float, um, what are they called? The float balloons underwater. And, you breathe out at the same time. All the little bubbles and the big bubbles, they all rise at the same speed. As far as from
Exactly.
what I've seen,
That's what I was. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we can get some footage of that. Josh, what are we going out on over YouTube? Over YouTube, what channel? Ground control to Josh. Anyone know?
Is there anybody
What was
out
that?
there?
yeah.
Anyone
Sorry,
What
I
know
was
was.
that?
It's on Havnosphere.
Atmosphere, yeah.
Okay,
I love that brand of ours.
let's not go there. Yeah, so I don't. I disagree. I think bubbles rise at the same rate. Um, I might be wrong on that. I don't know. I mean, it sort of stands to reason that the bigger the bubble is, the quicker it would rise in
Well,
some sort of acceleration.
right. Well, the thing is, from what it looks like, every time that happens, it's always involved with something they're doing to a structure or to their tank or hitting it, or somebody's moving suddenly when it does those weird sprays and it goes in different directions. And I mean, they have to have pressure in those suits. They're not just down there holding their breath in those suits. There's got to be some pressurized air in there to keep them breathing. So I'm sure different pressure of bubbles being sent out, jetted out of a pressurized atmosphere into the water and that kind of thing would make them travel at different apparent velocities. But like you're saying, just them rising up above you into the regular buoyancy of the ocean or the pool or whatever you're playing around in, it does seem that they all rise at the same rate.
Certainly something we could get footage of or test.
I was just about to say,
That's a good
somebody's
question.
got a pool and I've got a phone. We're going to water now, so
I'd like, I mean, I'd like to see Josh do something with the green screen. Maybe he could overlay footage of undersea water over top of the backgrounds of the astronauts. Maybe see how easily that fits and how well and natural it looks in the water.
right, with some like floating scenes.
Absolutely.
Right, that would be awesome.
Somebody, we need to
I'm
do
wondering,
a full-scale investigation, I believe, guys.
do you guys think that there would be a terminal velocity type equivalent to a bubble? So it starts off slower, but it rises faster and faster the further away from the center of the Earth it gets?
I think it could be based on pressure. No, could it be on pressures and depths?
So if you released a bubble at a lower depth, would it not rise at a slower pace and then slowly increase its speed as it got closer to the surface?
There's a number of
Does it
laws
rise?
like Boyle's law and Williams' law, Henry's law. And I'd have to go bone up on it again. Couldn't say off the top of my head.
It sounds very familiar, though, Josh. It does. Sounds possible.
But I'm sure there's going to be fluid dynamics involved and
there's some variables,
movement of the water.
I'm sure.
I know the bubbles,
like in an ocean, I
get
suppose.
bigger
But
as they get closer to the surface, they get bigger.
Well, think of velocities too. Like if a bullet's fired above the surface and then goes into the surface of the water and it breaks, would the bubble from the bullet rise faster than something that was gently placed in the water?
Something we'll have to look into.
I don't know, just curious. I was just thinking out loud.
But the bubbles I see on those space footage, claimed footage, don't seem to be going abnormally fast as far as I'm concerned. And I've dived to 63 meters.
Ooh, I've only made it to 40. Wow.
I was an idiot.
Yes. But no, they look perfectly typical. The small bubbles that move that way, they look normal to me as well as a diver.
Yeah. Any other questions, Rob? Can't believe anyone's actually listening in at the moment.
What do you got up on the screen there? Who's screen sharing there?
It's probably me.
Yep.
That's just a flat Earth map or a map. They're all hearsay, but we wanted to talk, or if we were talking about the sunset, sunrise,
90-degree angles.
Yeah, so 90 degrees here would be looking.
I'm still not understanding how Walt could possibly see the sun at 110 degrees when I'm seeing it at 110 degrees.
Yeah, the software is wrong, or they're hiding something, or something's wrong. Yeah.
No, well,
the
thing is, Walt is actually seeing it at that too. I think it's a few degrees off. It's only a few degrees off, but
on sunsets, though, right?
Doesn't matter.
So do you guys want to go
sunset or sunrise? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You guys want to spam a link to this show?
Sure.
Let's open it up. Open it up.
Let's do it.
Let her go.
What are you spamming? Bung it in the Twitter chat so we can
And in the flat Earth
Copy.
hashtag.
copy it and put it out over our timelines.
Yeah, great idea.
Save us all having to
I just gotta
make one.
change some sprinklers. I just gotta change some sprinklers.
Okay, Rob.
I know that's code word for something we're not privy
Yeah,
to.
it's got to be a euphemism for something, isn't it? In fact, speaking of it, I've got to go change my sprinklers too. Back in that.
Yeah, I've got to go check on my bubblers.
Unfortunately, no, that I'm changing my sprinklers.
Back in.
Muted. Thanks, live show.
Oh, I didn't realize.
So, yeah, quite an exciting time. President Trump.
I know, right? This has been the craziest season of The Apprentice yet. I'm telling you. I can't wait to see next season. I'm gonna stop.
I'm not convinced this isn't the season finale.
This is madness. I can't even believe this stuff anymore. You can't write this stuff. You really can't.
Oh, somebody can. Somebody probably is.
Oh, they are, but you know, if you put it up as a movie, they think it was too insane.
It's true. Or they wouldn't want to broadcast it out to the general public.
Yeah, I saw some pretty rough stuff going on in Portland, according to the news. And I say according to the news, that's what I'm seeing on people I know on Twitter or people I know on YouTube that I trust what they're saying, not just the MSM. And so that made me check to see if things were okay with the family there in Oregon. And he said that, generally speaking, there's something always happening in Portland, some kind of protest, some kind of something in the streets. Always. That's kind of what that place is. That's where all the hippies went and kept protesting all through all this junk. So he said it's not a big issue, but it's not crazy people getting beat up and all that stuff you're seeing on the news. And I'm like, there you go. So he's in one of the ones they're saying it's the worst place, and he goes downtown to work every day. And he doesn't see anything that they're showing on the news. So that ought to tell you right there what they're showing us. Reality are two different things.
15 people in an empty lot. In some back lot studio, burning shit and throwing shit and breaking shit with crowds and cars superimposed, keyed in over top of it.
Sounds like you're talking about the mainstream media. What did I miss?
That's it. Welcome to the revolution.
Exactly. It is being televised. We're just the ones that are seeing all the cracks in their script.
The revolution will be televised. It will be televised and produced and scripted and visual effects added and edited for
promoted,
your...
Sponsored. They're saying Soros is the one sponsoring these, right? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I do believe so. That's what he does.
That's
how he works.
Hasn't he got the majority share in the voting machine counting machines? Spanish company.
You probably know that because you probably know that. We don't get to hear stuff like that here. I haven't heard that.
That sounds right.
Very powerful.
It's been a while since I've really looked into Soros and even the counting machines. I don't think since 2008 that I even gave a shit.
Pointless, isn't it? Vive le no vote.
Boycott voting. That's what I've been telling them.
Well, we need to work on getting recognition for people who refuse to register to vote and refuse to vote, because they are sending a message. And if it worked in India, it may well work elsewhere. We have to shame the government into acknowledging the figures of the people that will not participate.
Just refuse to take part in their
corrupt, rubbish, bullshit system.
Yeah. Well, we could have that as part of our robust site if you want. We could add that in.
No vote. Yeah, I'll go with that.
I'm with it. I'm for sure with it.
Trouble is, you get labelled as anarchists, and then people start screaming and shouting at you that anarchy means you can go around raping children or something. I had someone accusing me that on Twitter the other day. The trouble is, people don't understand what not having big government is. It's either, you know, it's this false dichotomy all the time. It's either big government or it's complete Mad Max anarchy. And you know, I think it's about time we grew up and took responsibility for ourselves and our communities and did away with bullshit corrupt governments and started governing ourselves responsibly.
Here, I agree 100%. And what's sad is, as you say, the only thing we're given as options are the two dichotomy there and the movies push it. Like this whole Walking Dead scenario that they used this last few weeks to totally traumatize and split people.
Well, I don't know about you, but in the sort of 50s and 60s and stuff, they had numerous TV dramas and things about the Wild West and these outback towns and Dodge City and all the rest of it. And you literally walked away from that with the impression that, you know, unless you were some mad-ass gunslinger that could take down 6 people with 6 shots, then, you know, you were literally going to be terrorized from here to Kingdom Come. And I've learnt now to believe that that's not probably the case. That they were probably a lot freer and a lot more secure than we feel today, certainly in England anyway, since we've been disarmed. But yeah, that was the impression that we always got with the black and white Indian cowboys and Indian films, is you know, it was the wild, wild west. And that's what your options are. It's either the strict authoritarian new west, or it's the wild, wild west.
Right. That's all the programming. They try to instill that we have no options of our own. Either they do it for us, big daddy, big brother holds our hand and leads us through this terrible world, or we just fall into complete rubble and disarray and anarchy.
Yeah, and that's just not the way it needs to be.
Well, many indigenous cultures, I mean, I have a lot of Native American heritage, and I mean, the way they lived, you know, had nothing to do with, I mean, they were totally flabbergasted when we started trying to do treaties and this land's yours and that land's ours and all this, because they had no concept of ownership of land.
Yeah.
It was all there, given, provided, it's there, use it, take what you're supposed to use. Don't leave the plains dotted with corpses of buffalo, you know, use the whole animal you kill, that whole idea. So we could live that way. We did.
That's right. It's the same with the Australian originals. You know, how long have they been around? And they have no written laws whatsoever. And justice is done.
Indeed. Rob must be gone. Yep, I don't see him there.
No.
Come back, Rob. Well, certainly that's something we need to include, I think, as part of this. I mean, that's kind of what we're all doing, this madness that we're doing here anyway, is trying to show people there's other ways to live.
That's right. It was no vote and kill your TV.
Right, kill your TV.
I happily endorse either of those. I killed my TV about 6-7 years ago. Never looked back. Never even once missed it.
Yeah.
Can't even watch it now. Cannot watch it.
It makes me, it drives me insane too.
I mean, it was bad enough when I gave it up. It must be 100 times worse now. Where did James go? We lost him as well. And Josh.
I think
I
he's
don't know,
muted.
it's just you and I.
Oh, I'm here.
It's you
I'm not
and
tweeting.
Lonely.
Matt, dropping the links, seeing who's going to pop in on us.
Did you drop it in the chat? In the original?
In the general chat? I did it in the general chat. And then I just
Oh,
tweeted it
right.
from Iron Realm Media for all like 2 people that follow Iron Realm Media on Twitter.
A rare moment to have 5 Iron Realm originators alive at the same time. There we
And we're down to 4. So now I'm a liar.
God damn it. Rob was changing his sprinkler or something, wasn't
Wink, wink.
he? Yeah, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
Say no more.
I'm gonna bung out a tweet. I've hardly tweeted at all today.
Well, my buddy just left here. I threw some interesting questions his way that made him kind of start thinking a little differently, maybe, hopefully, because he's one that's, he agrees with most everything I say as far as he's into this whole truth thing too, except when that line where space and NASA and all that starts. Then it's true. It's got to be true, which makes no sense. They can't lie about just some things. So anyway, so we were talking about the birds, the migration, and so I asked him. Oh, and then also the fact that John Kerry is headed down to Antarctica to renew the lovely treaty to keep us from going there.
Yeah, that was odd.
It was just kind of, yeah, it was interesting in the middle of all this craziness. That's probably what all this protesters do.
On the
Keep
day
people
of
from knowing
the
about the
election.
Antarctica. Right, exactly. That's kind of interesting timing, I thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was, telling him about the whole idea of land beyond. That Bird found it. He was big into the Bird Hollow Earth thing. I said, all right, well, now go the other way. Go down to his Antarctic explorations and see all the land he found down there. And when I told him about the stipulations for those cruises that won't let the food be out on deck, or they can't have fossil fuels down there, and the idea that that's to keep our crap, junk, world stuff here, GMO foods, pollution, all that in this contained crap environment, and they have their wonderland and the
Do you see they just
areas
fenced
outside.
off most of Ross Sea or whatever it is? Ross.
No.
Yeah, they've just signed a new treaty stopping all fishing and access, as far as I know, to Ross Sea. It's all dressed up with, sort of fancy wording, but basically, you've got to wonder why.
Now, I'm not exactly familiar. Where is that exactly in relation to what? I mean, is that close to Deception Island or anything? Or
yeah,
no,
I think
that's
it
down
is.
below the Falklands, I think. Yeah, that's below the Falklands.
Yeah, it's Ross Sea. It was named after Captain Ross,
Oh, there you go.
who did try and circumnavigate the Antarctica, and it took him, I think, 3.5 or 4 years. 60 or 70,000 miles recorded.
Hello.
There he is.
There he is.
He's back.
Did you see the Ross Sea Treaty recently, James?
I didn't. What is it?
Something about them fencing off more, another, 1,000,000 square miles or something of the Ross Sea.
Oh, yeah. John Kerry's headed down there to do his South Pole expedition.
Yeah, he's in New Zealand at the moment. He's just come from Antarctica.
He went down there and rubbed the shiny ball.
Yeah, along with the, what was it? The Orthodox Christian, Russian Orthodox Pope or something, equivalent to the Pope.
He went down there again.
Down
Yeah, the
Kirill or something.
Yeah, that's him. That's him exactly. Krill. Obama last year, didn't he? He goes down there with all of them.
Yeah,
they just want to hang out with all the
penguins,
mammoths and stuff, and all the saber-toothed cats and
pterodons.
But there has been talk that there are high-level secret meetings going on in Antarctica, but
Don't
Neither
doubt
Rob
it.
can verify any of that. That's coming from the likes of Ben Fulford. Who still insists on calling it a planet. So that puts him in a little box
Mm.
or a little globe.
Right.
Yeah. As the world turns.
So when are these big cheeses going to come out and declare it's not a ball?
Somebody's going to get mad with power and try and leak it. Maybe Trump will announce
Trump
it.
might.
He might. He might shatter everything and be like,
That would be hilarious, wouldn't it?
it wouldn't be the
Would be
best.
too
It
funny.
would be
It would-
so great.
It would be.
If it did, it would be shown that he was insane. It would be.
That's what I'm afraid.
Yeah,
He's
that's what I'm afraid
insane,
of
and
too.
they'd lock him up straight away.
Yep. Impeach.
They're already talking about impeaching him.
Who, Hillary? Man, not him. What did he do?
They're already launching a court challenge to impeach Trump.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, didn't take long, did it?
No, it didn't.
Somebody needs to take the sand out of their private parts.
Who knows what Trump will bring?
I'm rather optimistic.
I would be if I didn't know some of the background.
I'm just optimistic because it finally feels like some of this shite is actually going to happen that we've been talking about for years.
Well, either way, it's getting
Closer.
publicity. You know, it's being talked about. Corruption and that sort of thing, and you know, dodgy funding and vote rigging.
Oh yeah.
And,
Remember the Panama Papers? Holy shnikes.
Yeah, what happened there? You know?
Caused a couple resignations. That was the whole start of the People Strike Back info. I hate to use the name, but information wars of the people, you know. Like we started hitting them back with info.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
So, had any good ballers this week?
Not me.
No, that's been
I
very
had one
quiet recently.
with me. I had one. Let me see what his name was.
Oh, don't dignify him that way.
Yeah, right. No.
Jeez.
Unless it's
Oh, I
worth
thought we were
it.
doing our wall of shame today. I was ready for the wall of shame.
No, we'll start that next week.
All right. Well, anyway, yeah, I had one messing with me earlier the week with just, and he actually wasn't ugly or anything. He just whatever it was, and I answered the question, and then he started kind of being jerky a minute, and I was like, "Hey, dude, you asked me these questions, you know? I didn't pull your at. You pulled mine." And
Well,
he was like thinking about something I said.
I don't know what happened, but they're out again in force. The trolls are back. They are
Come
back.
out at the weekend.
Well, no, I mean, just in the last month, I've seen a massive pickup, like in the last 30 days. Lots of battles lately again from everyone.
I haven't been involved in a battle for a long time.
What?
Getting a
Come
bit
on.
bored.
Really?
Check out my timeline, yeah.
Maybe you should finally go and see that nutty professor out of that school who's been indulging you.
Sorry, which one?
the one who won't respond after 9 months. Go and track him down on purpose. Bring a camera. It'll be good fun.
The barometer expert from Cardiff University.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Have a good memory. Curse and a blessing.
I've never had anyone who's claimed, a baller who's claimed they're going to go and do the moonlight experiment, ever come back to me and say they've done it and these are their results. They've never done that.
Go figure.
Including the barometer expert from Cardiff University, whose entire entire life is measuring different radiation levels, different heat levels, temperatures.
Hmm.
So not one of them has ever come back, you know, and with a video or with any sort of anything to say no, it was any different to what it was. I had one today saying they were going to go and do it, and what was I going to say when he came back telling me that moonlight was negligible or not? There was no
That's rare.
difference.
That's rare. The most I've seen has been that your experiments aren't verifiable, they're not accurate, it's not a controlled environment, so therefore I don't acknowledge your fake temperature differences between the two.
Hmm. But they never do it themselves. They never test it for themselves.
Right.
That's the point. I mean, I saw, you know, a huge article in an academic, you know, .ac whatever website, and the whole article was condemning the use of laser temperature readers and how inaccurate they were and how useless and everything they were, even though our health and safety officials in the UK at least use them routinely for hygiene testing kitchens and fridges and everything. They all use laser thermometers.
Sensitive oil and gas equipment, like I'm talking instruments that are over $3,000 US, also use lasers to calculate precise wellhead and valve temperatures along a line, a flow line.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's
I mean,
proven.
I don't
Proven
see how they can
technology.
discount that as rubbish. But
No, but this whole article was discounting laser thermometers, and
laser
it was
thermology.
just bizarre because the author of the article never did the experiment himself.
So let me ask you, and this is just curiosity, what do they propose to use if they dismiss the lasers? What do they recommend?
Well, most of the time what I get back is, well, I don't have access to a $1 million thermometer or thermocouples or this, that, and the other. And it's like,
What's a $1 million thermometer?
God knows. God knows. But basically it comes down to, you know, the awe of science again. If you don't have $1 million thermometer, then you're not going to be able to tell if the moon's light is.
But then you just have to take their word, somebody's word. You have to believe somebody.
Yeah. Rather than going and getting, you know, 4 $3 thermometers and, you know, testing it for yourself.
So psychologically, though,
they've been trained though to believe that there is like nano temperature differences between moonlight and moonshade, when in reality, if anyone goes and tests it, they can see that there are literally degrees in difference. So you don't need
anywhere
$1 million
from 1 to 5 degrees, I would say, would be accurate.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, easily. Mine averaged about 3 to 4.
Yeah.
But see, psychologically, I was going to say, John, if you have to trust somebody, and let's say whether that's a professor that influenced your life at university or college, or whether it's a friend who's into science, you put that belief into them, and then everything that comes through that filter is already automatically verified by your subconscious because you've accepted that core belief.
Sure.
And then, so where I'm going with this is psychologically, what happens when your intellectual active mind knows that your subconscious is being fooled? Because at some point, these people know that something isn't right with their friends or their bosses or their idols or Neil deGrasse, whoever. They will come to that point where they say that was false. That was not right at all. Why would they say that?
That's cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
That's when cognitive dissonance kicks in, and you cannot hold the two opposing views at the same time, because it
Exactly.
just blows a fuse in your head.
From a psychological point of view, what would you say the best transition into or out of that situation would be to migrate from that place over? Because I think a lot of people subconsciously or in the present know something's wrong, but struggle and fight so hard not to search it out. If there's a way to break it, maybe we could reach a lot of people.
It's
Well,
unfortunately really simple. It's what we were talking about earlier. Turn off these devices, kill the programming, because that's what feeds it 24 hours a day.
That's right.
yeah, I think the problem is that when you come up against a you know, a NASA fanboy or a science lover, like I was, you were, probably everyone else was.
I was.
Walt was the biggest one,
I
I think.
was for sure.
Yeah,
Yes, I
you
was.
don't, you're not
Huge.
going to break it by hitting it perpendicularly with flat Earth. What you're going to do is break it by coming at a very acute angle, like the moon landings, or showing other areas of science that don't add up, that have never added up. You need to hit it at a less, you know, a more acute angle, because people will naturally accept flat Earth if they've gone through the moon landings were fake, JFK, the 9/11, the
Van
you know,
Allen
the,
radiation, the
all of
1960s
those things.
technology of the space program, the stop footage motion, the
Everything. But,
bubbles.
you know, that's the journey. If you hit someone who believes all of that with flat Earth straight out, then you're literally asking them to discount all of their beliefs on the strength of, you know, one experiment that you can show them, you can prove to them, you can demonstrate to them, but it goes on the scales. It's such a small weight compared to the weight of NASA and their entire life of brainwashing and indoctrination and school and education. You're barking up the wrong tree there. They're not ready for flat Earth.
Wow.
If they're still using the term conspiracy theorist, they're not ready for flat Earth.
I mean, it's really complex, but for me, the only way that I can see that may help people, because it worked for me, is education. When I stopped education and research, when I stopped using technology, like sitting around drooling at a video game for 12 hours, or even doing something productive like my music career, where we were releasing tracks and, you know, had even possibilities of a record contract, you know, and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't getting me anywhere. It was just keeping me in life, but it was interesting. But when I started turning those devices off and using their power to teach me and to look into things, that was pretty much the drill bit that smashed my cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's the internet. You can either use it to look at porn all day, or you can use it to didactically teach yourself
Step by step.
anything you
There's
want to
no
know.
excuse. I
And I get so frustrated with those people that come at you with, "Oh, where are you doing your research? YouTube?
On the internet.
YouTube?"
I have two monitors,
Oh,
by the way.
everybody in next Charlie's got a YouTube video.
Well,
But my channel's not filled with cats playing pianos.
explore that. You know, what are they actually demonizing? They're demonizing visual communications and methods of transferring information. And
They're just lazy, man. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work. They're lazy. That's all it comes down to.
Well, on the one hand, they want to show you a CGI bit of footage from NASA of a ball Earth from the ISS, which is on YouTube. And the next minute, they don't want anything from YouTube because it's from YouTube. I mean, it's just such an illogical bullshit argument.
Thank you. That is so simplified. That is wonderful, John. Thank you. That's so true.
I point out the fact that you can get Harvard physics lectures on YouTube as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, presidential speeches. I mean,
Neil
you
deGrasse
name it.
Tyson is on YouTube.
YouTube.
I learned
yeah.
to fix my car brakes from the video on YouTube.
It's like people
Fix my washer watching a video on YouTube.
Yeah.
demonizing.
It's like YouTube is the college of life and all the rest is the university.
Well, beforehand, it would have been people demonizing books. Where are you getting all your information from? Books? Oh, you're using those silly books and pamphlets again, aren't
Men
you?
wrote those books. Men made
Would you read that in a
those.
public library?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just such an illogical argument. It just doesn't even bear, bothering with, to be honest, most of the time.
Just keep it in mind, though, the way to break through this all, and for anybody listening, or even for ourselves as a reminder, education breaks through all of the barriers. Education, faith, and trust in yourself. That's it.
Well, exposure to other ways
Let's
of
say
thinking.
information, not in education.
Mm-hmm.
Personally.
It's about exposure to other ways of people thinking.
Yep.
It's what Dean Clifford said. If you want to make yourself smarter, then read books written by smart people.
Pretty simple stuff.
Mm-hmm. But it's so hard to grasp these simple things and follow through with them in the game board that these people have set up. It's near impossible. I mean, it's impossible financially because you're always worried about how you're going to feed your kids. It's hard career-wise because you're not going to get ahead because it's tilted against you.
You and I talked about that, James, the fact that having no career per se because of our disability of the last couple of years, we both had some serious issues in our lives and have
not our choices.
Not our choice.
No, I was doing
to have a lot of extra time to investigate and do the research, and you have to wake up at 6 in the morning and go do the 8-hour grind and, worry about the kids off at school and, is there a fight? And there's this, just the grind of daily life keeps you from doing the research, period.
Yep.
I mean, you don't.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute, chaps.
Absolutely. I truly believe in that, though. I mean, I come across so many times to people in real life and friends and family when I say, like, no excuse. And they're like, why are you so tough? And I'm like, because there is absolutely no excuse for you not to know something nowadays. Take a notebook, grab a pen, write down the topic, and go sit in front of your computer for 12 hours and go through it. You will know 100 times more about that subject 10 hours later. So the point is, people are lazy. They don't want to do that. And they have extreme media and social and economic constraints placed upon them in this tight flesh suit of debt and ego and trying to keep up and buy this and consume that, and it's just unreal, man.
The comfort level that they're all being hypnotized into believing they have to have. That's a lot of it too, is the comfort level in their existence and their thought processes, the ease of getting through a day. Like, if they can get off and go home and sit in front of a mindless TV that's going to feed them a bunch of images from space on a show that's hosted by Neil deGrasse to make them think all this, and that's easier than to sit there and watch somebody telling you why this is fake and that's fake and making you actually think through. You
mean like how it would have been in the old days? They'd have to go to a town hall meeting, see them in person,
and engage,
have a council, debate,
and not just zone out and get into that alpha state of just zoned into the TV wave, and you're lost and not thinking, and that's where it's comfortable, so they're happy to go there.
I keep mentioning my hillbilly friend, and sorry if I offend any hillbillies. I'm a bit of a hillbilly myself, but he, I would have this argument to him about scientists too, right? And that trust, and he would say, well, because John mentioned, well, I don't have the $1 million to buy the $1 million equipment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he's trusting in the scientists to tell him that. And no matter how hard or how much proof is placed physically in front of him, he's going to trust that just because of his association to that guy. And
Mhm.
that's what I had. That's why I have such a problem with it, because people are wired to believe in people. It's hard to break those connections.
Mhm.
Like, imagine if your dad was the one telling you like the moon is real, and this you how could you believe this? Like, you're gonna believe your dad. Like, those are the powers are influencing our basic instincts and will to like believe in people and follow them. It's really unfair.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It's just the way we're wired, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the elite know that and tend to take advantage of that wiring and use it to their ends.
Hmm.
By, just like I'm saying, having that addictive sitting there in front of you box that'll just feed you what you need and keep you entertained and tell you you're okay because you're doing what they tell you should be doing and everything's fine. Just chill. We've got it all figured
Relax.
out.
By the
Yeah.
way, there's a big game this weekend. Enjoy.
Right. Enjoy that. So, red
Mhm.
circuses. Red circuses.
By the way, we're not done with the election, so we've got days and months of like that coverage still.
Right.
Enjoy the
And we have the
show.
electoral college and oh yeah.
Plus, we got to get you primed for the biggest bleed out of cash in every year. It's Christmas season. Time to bleed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw one of those memes roll across my Facebook page posted by a police officer thanking the protesters for all the extra overtime right before Christmas.
Right. I never thought of that aspect. That's crazy.
So it won't
Fucking
let me
LEOs.
post a tweet
Really?
advertising this.
Really?
Yeah, for
Sure it
some
did.
reason.
I liked it.
Did it? Oh, let me see. I'll
I did.
retweet it.
Oh, it sometimes does that, doesn't it? And then tells you, you've already tweeted it.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me a few. Duplicate tweet.
Yeah, I just copied it and sent it out too.
Oh, there we go.
Did it say we are live? Is that the one? Cool. Alright, expect incoming lunatic.
Incoming.
Hacks out there retweeting.
Get him on.
Maybe you'll get him on.
Get him on.
He might come on.
He's welcome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Richard.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world.
Dude, this is hilarious.
He just doesn't think we're gonna have much more internet.
Yeah, I know. I heard that. You told me that the other night.
But did you see the guy who was talking to that valet paleontologist guy from Joe Rogan who
Oh,
he was
Yeah, that
having
was
a Twitter
great.
conversation
And the baby
with
was dishing him out. Yeah, it was
no,
awesome.
no. He was having
Oh,
a
no?
Twitter
Post.
conversation with this
Post.
guy called Too Many People or something, too many souls or so many people, so many souls, something like that.
Something like that.
And he valet said, because this guy was saying everything's in America is going to be dead and buried by the 9th, World War III, 9th of November, and
It's
valet
probably the
said,
19th now.
you know, put your money where your mouth is, bet me $100, I bet you $100, and this guy just wired him $200 and said, enjoy it, just buy a King James Bible with it. But he disappeared on the 8th. His account shut down and he disappeared. So maybe he was raptured. I went to look
Maybe.
and check if Hack was still with us, and he was. So I don't know.
Now you got us all feeling left behind.
I wonder if God would delete your YouTube channel if he raptures you.
Right, clean up all the loose ends. Don't forget my search history.
Well,
Right?
I think it's getting around time because Leonard Cohen just got taken up, and he made that song, you know.
Yes, he did.
And TT, you know what? When we should start worrying when DT signs the Israel 7-year peace treaty. That's when we should worry.
No doubt.
DT.
Donald Trumpet.
Right. He's got a nickname already, has he? Got the DTs.
I missed my freedom. I got the DTs.
So does anyone think he's actually going to get to inauguration or what?
I'd be surprised.
I'm
I'm surprised he made it this far, though.
I mean, wow, slightly surprised insofar as it's all a complete.
I'll tell you this. I'm a people watch. Like I'm good at catching interactions. My gut feelings are really good. And if you look really, really closely at the facial expressions between DT and Obama on the exchange in front of where there's hundreds of cameras and they sit in those big chairs and they have to kind of lean forward and they're looking at each other. What Obama says, Donald Trump is thinking in his head. He's like, "You fucking idiot. You're a moron." But he just looks back at him and it's like, and then he like kind of glares him down. And Obama won't look at him really. It tells a lot to me.
Obama's always been awkward on the world stage with Putin, and
very much so.
You know, he's literally an actor.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah, pretty bad. Yeah.
But I mean, I guess the point was, I mean, for something that's staged, it looked pretty real. The signals and the situation looked pretty real. And I mean,
I watched it too.
Just the freaking mass amount of money, billions spent on the Soros wheel. You could call him the whole Ezekiel wheel of everything they're trying to do, right? Would be. I just don't understand as a whole game setup why they would spend so much money and just do all the things they did. Somehow, maybe some of it may be real with this guy. You know?
I know. I keep fighting that thought, but it keeps coming back into my head that, you know, and then I think, okay, well, if that's what I keep thinking, then that's the setup. The setup is he's going to be the one that fixes everything. And you know who that's going to be, right?
The AC, yeah. DT becomes the AC.
I've always thought they've been priming the top slot for Alex Jones one day.
Now that would be great. Oh, that would be such irony.
Oh, Billy. Here comes Billy home again.
That's exactly.
Hallelujah, Walt. Your sins have been forgiven. I know. Do you have a piece of art? Do you have some artwork?
Yeah. Yes,
I do. You do.
Okay.
I love it.
Let's not get into that.
No. It's an insiders. It's an Iron Realm Insiders joke.
Yeah, that's an Easter egg.
Yeah. What does the Iron Realm?
Billy boy.
Full. So, do we have anybody listening out there want to join? Any ballers want to puff their chest? Anybody?
Tell us how crazy we are.
Yeah.
It only says we have 2 viewers.
Show
and
us
I'm
a
feeling
sign.
bad that 2 of us.
Have you got Flat Earth in the title?
Yes.
No.
Right.
Have you got New World Order
It's
in
in
the
the
title?
tag.
No, tags do nothing. You have to put it all in the title, man.
Oh,
This
that's
is-
bullshit.
Day one stuff.
Dude,
I thought you were that
I
guy.
thought you were that guy.
Put the most
I keep telling you I'm
outrageous,
not. Nobody
Put
wants
the
to listen to me.
outrageous clickbait title you can. That's what you do.
Titties, flat earth.
All right, now, if you want to impeach Trump now, click here.
Flat Earth first, then titties.
Yeah.
Flat Earth will get you more
titties.
hits.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have Flat Earth in your title, you're not
Dude.
going anywhere.
Make the screenshot of like Melania nude or something. You know the little GIF you can put? Put something good in there.
Just put
Has
Flat
anybody
Earth in
decided
there.
whether that's a hard G or a soft G on that word?
Supposed to be soft from what I've understood, but I never say it that way. Sounds like peanut butter.
I never say it that way. It sounds
I
silly
don't
that
either.
way to me.
It sounds silly that way. It sounds like peanut butter.
So Walt was saying he was having a bit of the chocolate rain following him lately.
Oh, he followed me like last year.
I know it's kind of neat sometimes.
Tunde, whatever his name is. Tunde. I can't even remember the guy's name. I feel terrible now. Everybody knows who he is, though. Chocolate Rain. And then Siri's voice started following me recently, which was frightening. All I need is the double rainbow guy, and I'll be like set up.
It's neat to kind of see who sort of you wouldn't think is involved, you know, kind of peeking a little bit here and there at the flat earth stuff. It's always interesting because you keep seeing them, you know. I thought it'd be a rare case, but I keep seeing them. At least in my feed, I get a lot of the political people starting to look at flat earth now, who were mostly just pro-Trumpers.
Right.
So,
hey, planting seeds.
I think there'll be a second wave of people coming through going, okay, all right, let me know what are you talking about, flat earth? That's what I think is going to happen.
Well, what about the millennials? Like they're going to catch on to this eventually if they haven't already. Some of them.
I don't think this is an age thing. I don't think this is age related in any way. I think it is your state of mind.
Yep. Readiness.
I know 80-year-olds that have just come around to this, and I know 18-year-olds equally have just come around to this, and 8-year-olds.
So where's the feed coming from the next wave? Just the original pool? Just more of us continuing to funnel through?
The fact that we're not going away, the fact that, you know, at some point even your hardened baller has got to wonder why we haven't been shut up and shooed away.
Still going on YouTube 10, 15 years later.
And not just going on YouTube. We are the top slot.
Yeah.
We are the most searched term.
Yeah.
Like, can we see that? Can you pull that up?
Go to Google Analytics. Will show it to you, man.
Let me go to Google.
Because
we'll do some.
That's
tests.
contrary to what I've always said. I've seen them suppress it. I never see it trending on Twitter. I don't hear much about it on Facebook.
I don't think they can suppress it.
No, it's beyond them. It's reached that 10%. That's what I was saying last year. There's that experiment the guy did where
let's see this.
Group. Oh yeah, go ahead.
How do you do it? I just
there it is.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, that's.
I can see it now. Go ahead, Walt. What were you saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm trying to type this in too. Hang on.
So what the?
Just type in.
I mean the ear. I've just typed in the ear, and it's come up.
It was coming up before that.
As the second.
Yeah.
But let's see the actual.
But
stats.
the actual analytics.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, you bring that up then. I'm just doing.
I don't know if I can here. Hang on. Let me see. I think I can.
We live
in a dome. In the Matrix. All these are all postulations that are current right now.
Do we live on a flat Earth after death? The crust.
On Earth or
in Earth? There's a little in Earth.
I mean, this. You know, you go to YouTube.
Well, do they show you what the top search is on YouTube?
Yeah, we'll get around to that. Anyone else got a PC?
Yeah, I do.
Oh wow, this is down to 3.7 million now. I've seen
It
that
was at
over
like
6.
6. Yep, that's the last time I checked. So they are starting to try to stop it. They probably
Mm-hmm.
failed a lot of channels.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that, 3.7 million now. And if you
Mhm.
put in 9/11, oh, look at that, 8.8 million. Whereas before it was in the
26.
hundreds of thousands,
Yeah.
and Flat Earth was outstripping it way over 6 million. So this is being fiddled with.
It is.
You
That's
think about in 2015 when you did this same search on YouTube, how many fewer? I mean, it was in the like below 100,000.
What else would be a good search on YouTube?
Is do this.
Sandy Hook.
Is the moon, and then see what it autofills. Oh wait, you're on YouTube. Because if you do that on
Moving away
moon,
from the Earth, bigger than the Earth, is the
if you
moon
do that
real?
on Google, it comes up with stuff like, is the moon a hologram? Is the moon
Yeah,
real?
there it is.
Is the moon hollow? Things like that.
Artificial, getting closer.
Right.
Fake. Yeah, we see it.
A spaceship.
Did
I'm
you get
trying to see if I
the
can
Google
share
Analytics?
I know
though,
I'm trying to
Walt?
share my screen on this phone, and I am just not finding a way to do it.
I want the actual like Google
Yeah, the
numbers.
graph. I pulled it up the other day and
Josh, you got PC,
looked at
haven't
it.
you?
I'm doing it. I'm here.
I do.
How do we do this? Google Analytics. I've never even looked at Google Analytics.
Yeah, just type it in your Google search and it'll bring it up.
Yeah, maybe just Google Search Analytics.
Google Analytics. Type that in, and then it'll let you see how to search
Okay,
for it.
then what?
in
Are you
there.
still seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, then what do I do? Analytics.
Nah,
Oh,
this is
okay.
like
This is
this is a sales pitch. So
Yeah,
you need
it's
I'm
changed.
gonna search. I'll find
the
it,
other
guys.
day.
Don't worry. I'll find it.
But can you share?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to,
I
that's
will.
all I'm trying to do right now is share.
Well, I'm smart enough to take a picture and send it to the group so you can put it on your screen. If I don't,
Damn, you are smart.
I try.
Character.
I'm just trying to go to Google, man.
There we go. Okay, now. Oh,
So,
yeah, I see what you're talking about. That has changed. It wasn't all that like sign in or any of that. Last week, I think I looked this up. My goodness.
so there we go. I mean, you've only got to put in flat ear, and you get the Flat Earth Society, Flat Earth map, Flat Earth theory, Flat Earth is ear. Is ear. That's all I'm putting in there, and the first thing is Earth flat. I mean, you can't hide these logarithms, you know. People are interested in this. People
Oh, it's
are
Google
looking at it.
Trends. I apologize. It's Google Trends, not analytics.
Yeah, that's already what I'm in.
Son of a bitch.
I'm already in there.
Uh-oh.
It's 100 million searches, and when was that? Peaked over. Let's see. New Zealand. Wow, has the most interest right now.
Is there a way you can share your screen? Is there a way
But
we
I'm working
can
on it right
query
now.
it? Things like so I'll stop anyway. So if someone else wants to do theirs, but you know, what's the top internet search? It used to be sex or something, didn't it? It used to be porn or naked or whatever the hell it was.
I'm going to there now.
Wow, they
For
tried
which-
to drive it down.
For
with the
they're
live
hiding
stream.
2016 too.
They tried to, yeah.
What, the data from 2016?
I'm looking
Oh,
for.
Completely. This is odd. I may have last week or whenever I looked at this. We'll see.
They're lying. They're
This is
saying the
totally-
top searches in the world globally last year in 2015 was Lamar Odom. Come on, that's such
Who?
bullshit.
I've never even heard of it. Him. Then what is it?
And then
Lamar
Char-
Odom.
Charlie Hebdo was the #1 global search. That is
Okay.
so shit.
What's the word you said before? I've never even heard
Me?
of it. No, James.
James.
Hold on 1 second here.
Harbo or something.
Oh, that was the Charlie Hebdo. That was
No.
the.
You said something
Oh,
before
Lamar
that.
Lamar Odom,
Yeah.
the basketball player, married the Kardashian, who went into a brain coma.
Never even ever heard of him. Excellent. That shows that my filters are working perfectly. I don't even know what the Kardashians are, other than a family.
Good.
That's amazing, John. I'm so jealous you don't know who they are.
Nope. No
That's
idea.
great. That is, you are a rare person. That's amazing. That's just great. I just sent a picture of over the last 5 years, the Google searches for flat Earth. There was a serious dip after December last year, and then it goes back up at the beginning of this year, and then they cut it off. So that means it's through the roof so much right now they don't even want to show us.
Sent that to where?
To the Google Hangout we're in. I mean, yeah, the Google Hangout.
Can you bung it on Twitter? In the
Yeah, I can.
originals?
Surely.
So many Google Hangout. I think I've shut the Google Hangout window down already.
Here. It is now.
I mean, they're clearly manipulating the figures.
Oh, shoot.
Because I've got screenshots of it on YouTube being over 6 million. And now they're saying it's 3 million.
Right.
I mean, come on. You can't even type in Google is ear without it saying is Earth flat. I mean, come on. Even their own logarithms are betraying them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Oh, I see how the graph is actually set up. So they're showing us most of 2016. It's just weirdly done at the bottom. Okay.
so this is flat Earth.
That is flat Earth searches on Google over the last 5 years.
If you look at your screen, I'm showing them since 2004,
You ready?
and you can see that 6 months from like September to March, September 2015 to March of this year, there was just a huge spike.
Yeah, that's awesome. I see yours. Hey,
Like
give me a
it was
minute.
Yeah,
I'll be
that-
right back.
September to December. Then December it slapped off. Or from like September to December is when it spiked. And then declined after December. Somewhere around there. Let's see.
Yeah, I have a feeling it went parabolic after that.
Right there, January. And you think that's just where it spiked out, huh?
Yeah,
Wouldn't surprise me. And this is where it gets
And it will
start
spike again.
interfering.
As people realise this isn't going away, and that we're not a bunch of, double road teeth gibbering idiots, then people are going to start coming back going, okay, tell me how an eclipse works. Tell me.
That's how the second wave comes in. Yeah, that makes sense, because what you were saying earlier didn't jive. Like I don't see them, the numbers there. I see them hiding it and suppressing it. So it just proves they're fiddling with it.
So here's where I was. This is where I got in. Right about here, December, January. Right around I was reading about 13. And then we get up here into this goofy, strange little spike where it just totally skyrockets off the chart.
That's February 2016.
Well, it was like at the end of 2015. And then it spikes right in January 2016 is where it goes off the charts. So we don't even know where it is.
Hold on,
And everything else.
It's the
it
live
just shows
stream looking at your screen, Joe.
Yeah.
Well,
You see by March, it's down to 43. But even there, that's now the low point is 43
million.
You got it.
Yeah.
When I got in January of 15, I'm down at 13 million. Yeah, 15, 13, right around there.
Mm-hmm.
What have we got here? We've got some Glober come on to challenge us.
Bring it on, troll.
Yeah.
Bring it on. We got a
He
troll.
probably thinks he's hanging upside down at the bottom of a freaking globe or something.
Ask him to flush the toilet.
That'd be nice. We haven't heard him speak yet. Who is
How you
it?
going, assholes?
Oh, shit, it's a bogan.
Look at that. It's a freaking another one of us.
All right, what are you chatting about?
Google Analytics. And Flat Earth.
Suppression.
Don't let me stop you.
Too late.
How was your sprinklers?
Oh, they're still sprinkling.
Mine too.
Hot, I tell you. Friggin' hot today.
I've
Ready
got
to
a
go change my
radiator
speakers.
between my legs.
Oh,
Yeah, I had
what
a
a
heater
bragger.
on last night.
Man, it's
Is that what you
genetics.
call it?
Motherfucker,
No.
just because you got a better genetic pool doesn't make you any better. So you got a
No.
radiator between your legs.
No euphemism there, mate.
I've got a radio knob, you got a radiator. Big.
You had anyone on?
Not yet.
Anyone in chat?
Not yet.
No takers.
Nope.
Richard said he may pop on in a little while, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, he should be on. Where is he?
He wasn't sure if he was going to make it. He was doing something. He said he was otherwise occupied.
With the general chat.
In the general blog.
What's this about David Bowie and the Black Star? Anyone looked into David Bowie and the Black Star?
No, I
Yeah,
heard
that last album was very cryptic about that kind of stuff, about death
Yeah.
and resurrection, and
Lazarus.
yeah, Lazarus. Yeah. Well, he died at 69, same as Alan Rickman. So some kind of death hoax is what the idea is.
Hmm.
I know it gets tiring to hear it all the time, but because that's one of the things too. Feedback I get a lot is like, well, everything you say is wrong. There's something wrong with everything. Like, this guy didn't really die. This, person's corrupt. That person's corrupt. This happened. This.
That's what.
You
Yeah.
guys are all nutters. But if they only knew, it is all fake. That's the hard part I have with my family and my friends sometimes.
I think we can all sympathise with that.
Hmm.
So who's lost family or friends over Flat Earth? Temporarily, of course.
Well, I lost a friend last year, but I've known him for 20 plus years because I simply was asking him to film some things for me while he was working in the Arctic Circle, and he
Oh,
apparently saw things he didn't like. And when I got my videos up on YouTube, he took offense at my tone in my videos, and I was just being very, trying to be jokey about it, and he didn't like it, and we haven't talked since. It's been almost maybe going on a year, I would think.
what did his video show?
Oh, just different. The sun not acting anyway like he thought it should on a ball. The whole midnight sun thing that goes on in the Arctic Circle. But
Wow.
he had never looked up to see that taking place in a extended period or comparing it from one day to the next, like anybody doesn't normally as they go through their daily grind. And suddenly I've got him looking at this, and he sees things that don't add up, and that brings into question a lot of things. And he didn't want those questions apparently enough to, like I said,
There's Richard.
basically.
Hey, just on that, Walt, just on that, the sunset.
Yeah.
I posted a video a couple of days ago. I think you might have seen it, James. There was a guy that has just gone onto the website to see sunsets. Just average people videoing the sunset.
Right.
And there's many times it's getting smaller into the distance. So they're not flat Earth videos. They're just normal
videos.
everyday people taking, their holiday videos of the sunset, and the sun is definitely getting smaller.
Yeah, let's not forget we have that advantage. Like the sunsets is one of the most loved things in around the world. So, I mean, it's amazing. There's probably a wealth of evidence in what just sunset photography, just that genre alone.
But the thing is, James, how many of us, I mean, throughout films and everything, we've always seen the sunset and this big, huge, magnified, glittering, oh, shimmering ball.
And they show you the heat wave with it. You can see the waves.
Everything.
Yeah, the
Everything.
full.
That
Well,
that
from
is
personal,
that
it's
is a,
Go ahead, John.
a typical sunset. But how many of us have actually seen a sunset like that?
exactly. That's what I would say. My experience shows that it's definitely smaller when it's going out. Now, on the other hand, the one morning I stayed up to film the sunrise, it showed up full size on the horizon coming towards me. It did not show up small and get bigger. So that's a very
Well,
interesting dichotomy.
I think there are ways to explain that on both the ball and
Right.
and flat using, you know, with atmospherics and refraction and all the rest of it. But the thing is that what we're always shown as a typical sunset is
We've
this
never seen.
enormous ball that's shimmering and slowly disappearing over the horizon, which I challenge most people that, you know, show me the footage of that enormous ball shimmering. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm just saying that it's not what most of us see most of the time. What you're describing of the sun getting smaller as it goes away is what most of us see, unless it's via video or DVD or film.
Yeah, or fantasy. Good point. Welcome, Richard. How are you?
Hello, Richard.
Richard is sitting there. He really looks like he's going to say something. He's thinking about something. Have a go at him.
He has something on his mind. You can tell.
He sure does.
I can't see his image.
Oh, he may be having trouble then.
Nah, I think it's my end.
You are muted,
He's
Richard.
muted. Richard, you're muted.
He's probably just talking away.
Yeah, we're missing the.
We're all guilty of that.
We'll know when we hear the hum of his computer.
Oh, that's right.
He loves to be surrounded by his fans.
He's thinking about talking.
Oh, good one.
Oh, my goodness.
Quite the raconteur, Josh.
He's having audio
Oh, that
issues.
pun was so bad the dude left.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
There's John's red screen.
Yeah, he's hiding his identity again.
Yeah, but just back to the sunsets. I only see big suns. I don't see them getting smaller. Really, not. So yeah, I only see them the same size. Really, not that I've taken a measurement of them, but I don't really see them getting smaller. Like
So you
in
see
some
the
videos.
the big
So-
big ones.
Visually
Yeah.
is what you mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, but usually they're going over the top of mountains and stuff like that. I don't see them get to the horizon,
granted, that's, yeah,
which is a big thing.
that might be part of it. Like
Why
those
would
days
that-
when I
yeah.
wasn't getting the sun all the way to the horizon trying to take those readings. If it was continuously heading like to that southwest direction in the curve, then those few degrees that it was off, once it actually hit the horizon, might have made up for it. You know what I'm saying? So having that full view to the horizon may be the difference in seeing what you're not seeing. I don't know. And then comparing it to like noon, and then thinking about visually what that looked like and seeing it at 6:30 or whatever and thinking of what that looked like, that's different than actually videoing from noon till 6 and then comparing it in the video, I guess. But there are other videos that show it full size all the way across too, so I'm not sure. A conundrum.
Yeah, that was unclarifying, but completely true at the same
Well,
time.
just the different observations I've had. I mean, that's what I'm getting at. It's again back to trying to track it. It's not something I think we can track, or
We've
you
got to remember though that one of our greatest attributes as a group is our ability to recognize that we do not have all the answers at this time.
of course.
And that is something that irritates the other people beyond all belief. It's almost like a KO to the chin. I love it. Because
I would say we have none of the answers all of the time.
right.
How about that? Okay, some of the answers, some of the time.
Isn't there a song about that? But you can't fool all the people all the time.
I don't think so.
Don't you think we have enough
You can fool
evidence
some people sometimes.
completely to? I'm on mute.
Nope, we can hear you.
All right. Don't you think we've got enough evidence to completely abolish the spinning ball?
Crickets.
Bueller.
Yeah, lots of crickets.
I was muted again. I apologize. Yes, I agree.
What we
have a
can deduce
preponderance of evidence.
is that we can deduce that we're not moving as they say we are, and we can deduce that the water is flat and that the horizon always meets our eye level, which exactly suggests what you are saying, John. Yes.
Which is
We
more
can really
than
only
they
see the
can produce.
horizon for. We can really only see the horizon for 20 or 30 miles. You know, even at the best of times, really, can't we?
Which is way further than we should be able to see the horizon.
Oh, definitely way further than we should be able to see,
Mhm.
but it doesn't prove we're on a flat land. It just
I mean, plus, the higher you go, at some point, the higher you go, you should be looking over the curve on the other side of the ball, and we never see that ever.
I
Never.
would contend that knowing every body of water that we know of is flat, that it can't be an enormous ball. Right, let's say it's a ball that's 1 trillion miles in diameter. No, because that still requires water to curve around the ball.
And bend.
And we cannot demonstrate that or measure it or anything else.
Indeed.
So we have to go with what we know, which is that water always finds its level.
Always.
That if you're above water, then you're above water level, the same height as everyone else around the plane is above water level at the same height.
I definitely know we're not moving.
Say you took the 2 highest mountains and stuck a microwave between the 2 of them, a line of sight microwave with enough power to reach the other mountain. I have no doubt that they would be able to communicate. Line of sight. You know, that's the age-old rubbish we get from ballers. Why can't I see, you know, the Eiffel Tower from New York or anything like that? Because your eyesight is limited. But if you
And
had,
atmosphere and all of that too.
yeah,
Don't forget air density and pollution.
everything. I mean,
Refraction.
there's air schmuck, there's pollution, there's refraction, there's atmosphere, there's everything. I mean, it's not going to go in your favor, but if you can produce a beam that can go line of sight, I have no doubt that the Eiffel Tower can see the Statue of Liberty line of sight without all the atmospheric crud in between.
And then it's a vision.
I've told you this.
We don't have Superman eyes.
I've told you this story before, but I was watching the fighter jet that was attacking the American destroyer. I can't remember what war it was, and the radio controller or radar technician in the was picking up that fighter jet coming in from 400 kilometers away before he let his missiles go.
And that would have been,
and you have to be
less
you have
than
to
a
be able to
kilometre
ping.
high.
Yeah. He wasn't far off the water when he was coming in on them. Yeah, he was trying to get away from their radar. Yeah, and that
Sure, I
shows you
mean,
right there.
this has been proved so many times over and over again. Radar operators,
Military instructors, targeters, laser
exactly,
sight. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Well, to me, one of the
Line of
most
sight.
One of the most
Carry on,
telling
mate.
things was Rob Durham's example with the vector program AutoCAD, where he made the actual model, the ball, and then started ascending, and immediately it dropped away. Their size, their measurements, their ball, and as soon as he started rising in his model in the vector program, it starts dropping away. Every flat model he put, both square and circle, as soon as you start rising, the horizon line meets the eye. So, I mean, that alone in their program with their measurements shows that their ball don't work.
Have you got a link for that? You could bung in
I'll
the.
find it. Hang on.
Yeah, that's an excellent proof.
Because I'm
I
not
mean,
sure I've seen that.
another thing.
Hi, Patrice.
Hi, how is everyone?
Oh, hi, Patrice.
Hi, Patrice. How you
Hello.
doing?
Very good. How's everyone tonight?
Hey, Patrice, we're good. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Cha-cha.
Good. I haven't met you
Why?
yet, Patrice. Rob here.
Pardon me?
I said I haven't met you yet. Rob here.
Rob. Oh, Rob, are you like the fifth person that I was trying to figure out who's number 5?
No, I'm the first person.
Oh, you're the first person. Okay. What's your handle on Twitter, Rob?
Rob Freddy.
Oh, do we follow each other?
I don't know.
I don't think we do. Somebody's going to
Don't
have to
know.
make that happen. Nice to meet you, Rob.
Okay, nice to meet you too.
And where are you in the UK also?
John wishes. No, I'm in Australia.
Australia. I was trying to pick up the accent. I'm bad at that. Okay. Very good. What time is it down under?
It is 10 o'clock.
Okay, it's not too bad. 10 o'clock a.m. or p.m.?
I am.
Oh, 10 o'clock a.m. Okay.
On Saturday morning, yeah. He's
'Cause
ahead of us.
I was gonna say live from all over the plane. It's Friday Night Live.
Yay, the Flat Earthers Friday night frolic.
Yeah.
Saturday night, yeah. Oh, sorry, Saturday morning.
It's Saturday morning by you, John
And you, Rob.
and Rob.
It is.
Funny that you still call it down under.
Well, I said that as a joke because it's so ludicrous now, right?
Yeah, I
Where
know.
are
He's
you, where are
upside
you,
down.
Richard?
I am in Florida, in the U.S.
Right, and where's Richard?
I'm in Portugal.
You're still in Portugal?
I am, yeah, enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah, you lucky
Hi,
bugger.
Rich.
Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Nice to meet you on the phone for the first time.
Yes, you too.
So anyone got any burning topics they want to talk about?
Yes, I do.
Bring it on.
What you got?
These stupid protests that they're having paid out and protesting the stupid Trump election. It's just driving me crazy. They're having one here in Orlando tomorrow, and my older daughter that lives in Orlando, we had I'm like 20 minutes outside of town. We had a very good talk last night, almost like 2 hours. And she's one of those people, she kind of knows what's going on, but she doesn't want to give up her idols. Like she loves George Bush, yada, yada. But, I told her he was in on it on 9/11. So we were talking about 9/11, all kinds of stuff. So I was able to, get through to her a lot. And so she understands now that this protest tomorrow is being staged. And one of the things she said was, well, I guess it's some consolation that the human race isn't as barbaric as these events would lead you to believe, which was true. But, the bad thing is the bystanders, the peripheral people see that behavior and then they join them. And that's, of course, what they want to happen. So I am just all over. I mean, I'm over these stupid protests before they even start. It's just, you can see what they're doing. You could see their agenda. You know what they're doing.
I'll tell you, Trish, tonight our ongoing sort of mantra has been #no vote and #kill your TV.
Okay, those are good. I like both of those.
Yeah.
Very good.
It actually came out. We discussed this earlier too, Patrice. It came out, I believe, on WikiLeaks that the DNC was, you know, putting out the advertisements for these people for the same rallies, same people that were
so
paid.
why is WikiLeaks controlled opposition leaking this information? I don't think like a psychopath. That doesn't make sense to me to leak that information through WikiLeaks.
Controlled opposition.
I know, but what are they controlling by doing that?
They're controlling both paradigms,
Right.
the extreme left and the extreme right, in the hope that they will settle on the extreme middle, which is exactly what they wanted to start with.
Division.
It's
Well,
the
what
Hegelian
about
dialect.
yeah, but what about the category of, oh, this is truth and I'm not falling for any of it? I mean, that's what people should be
They
concluding.
don't get reported on at all.
No,
No.
of course not.
Another theme of tonight: the no vote, the silent majority, the maybe mindset of most awake or semi-educated people. You would think, right?
Right.
The real people, the real people that act
Not the
and think.
sheeple.
The
Yeah.
majority of people that don't vote and don't register and are not a part of the system
And don't fall for the
that
BS.
are
At
never
least.
reported on.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to confess to you all that because I was in the voting booth for medical marijuana anyway, and my daughter asked me to vote for Trump, I did, but I only did it out of love for my daughter.
You know, we're
So
Doesn't
there,
matter.
I feel better. I got that off my chest.
So who cares? So what?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Maybe you'll do something for once. Don't get excited, but it's, at least something's gonna happen, because I know everybody hates him, and there's been more money thrown to stop him. So even if it's part of the ploy, something's gonna happen, because it's so never seen anything like it. I've never seen a campaign against a guy more than I've seen everybody turn against this guy.
But don't you think it's all part of the script?
Yeah.
But if it is, what's the point of like going so heavy on that end of the script?
Because
Exactly.
they're
How do you
probably
think-
going to assassinate him
Right.
before
They're going to
inauguration.
assassinate him. So everybody, please retweet that whenever I say that, because I'm going to tag you all in this room to retweet it. Because I really think that they
Some
can
of us
change. They can
may
change
not
their
be political,
plans.
though.
It's not political. it's truth based. You know, it's just trying to get the psychopaths to change
Welcome,
their plan.
Prepper. How are you?
Hello, Prepper.
Howdy, how you guys doing?
Hey, man.
Very good.
Pretty
Hi,
good.
Prepper.
Good.
Where are you from?
I'm from California, and not to throw off your guys' chain of conversation, but yeah, I mean, Trump, he says, he was up there saying global warming is a scam, a hoax. I love it.
I agree.
He said it right in front of everybody.
Yeah, he's like the epitome of controlled opposition.
Maybe so, maybe so.
We did
Yeah.
see, that's the thing. We were talking about that. Maybe it is, but maybe there's some truth to him, because I really don't think the hatred for the elites and like just the body language of the president just watching the whole interactions over the last 2 years. I still think there's something. My inner voice, my gut tells me that there's something to Trump.
The thing with Trump is
thing.
that politicians will always tell you what you want to hear.
Tell
True.
me one
Trump
thing.
is saying, you know, a lot of truth, which is getting a lot of truthers involved as well in supporting him. And so he's got the support for people, and I mean, you've got the non-truthers who support Hillary, and I mean, they're just dividing everyone.
I'd like
Right.
people
Enough.
to cast their mind back 8 years and see whether they thought that they were thinking the same thing about Obama before he got elected.
People have short memories, John. They don't think like that.
Well,
They
how many
should.
people had hope, you know, that Obama
Millions.
was the answer?
Millions and millions and
Well,
millions.
But
on
he's
this
still, he's
call.
still a celebrity. They all love him still. They're all brainwashed.
But on this call, eight years ago, how many people thought Obama may possibly be
The one.
what he thought, what he said he was?
A
And
lot.
I'll guarantee most of us had hope that he was what he said he was, just as most of us now, you'd be almost inhuman
Just saying.
Yeah, okay, no worries.
I think Obama did do what he said. It just people were so dumb in choosing him.
How did he bring hope and change, though? I mean, how did he?
He changed a lot of shit, unfortunately for the worse. But
For the worse.
Yeah, no
yeah.
hope, lots of change. Yep.
Yeah,
I
lots
mean,
of lots of
change
change.
is a word that they love to play on us in psyops. Change. We all envisage change to mean something good, but
Right.
change can, you know, change is what they saw in Germany in World War II. That was change. You know, it can be good and bad.
yeah, it just sucks. Like I watched him. I love Trump, but I saw a video today of him in 2008 or whatever with Hillary saying what a good friend they are and stuff. And then when you see the stuff that Hillary and them are involved in, I mean, that whole like child molestation thing and bathing
Well,
and
what
calling.
about
But how do we
what-
know that's even true? It just sounds like more propaganda to me.
what about
What?
Trump's,
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not.
What about his
Oh
connection?
man, the Clintons are into the occult. 100%. They do witchcraft. They do rituals. If you put in enough
You
time,
heard square cooking, right? Yeah.
they really do.
Well, I'm
Okay,
sure
so-
some of it's true, but I think a lot of it is just made up to make, for the storyline, the narrative.
Is there not a reasonably good paper trail between Trump and oh God, I've forgotten his name
Clinton?
now. With the
With the jet.
plane,
The
Yeah.
private party ped
Convicted.
parties.
convicted pedophile Epstein.
Epstein Jewish, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there not a paper trail between Trump and Epstein?
Not really. I think there was just once he was on the plane documented. Once.
Clinton. It's the paper trails between
Clinton and
Epstein.
him. There's tons of that.
Both of them.
Absolutely, but
26
I've also
times
seen,
for Bill and
I've
5 for
also
Hillary.
seen Trump's name mentioned. I don't know how reliable this information is, but
Mhm.
it's something that can be looked into, because that
Mhm.
is what is my backstopper with Trump that always makes me think politicians are always the same. Okay, he's not a politician, so he says, but if he has a link to Epstein, then that's a pretty massive clanger in my book.
That's a damning fact for you, huh?
What does
But
it take to not
I
be a
disagree.
politician? How do you run for a presidency and not be a politician?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
he's
He
done
threw his
quite
hat
a
in the
good
ring.
job.
He's a politician.
No, he hasn't. You don't get
What was
to
Ronald Reagan?
have
Was
a
he an
campaign.
actor or was he a politician?
But he's
he was.
He was an
not a
actor until
senator,
he
is
ran
he?
for office.
He's not a senator. He's not a governor. He's not a. He
No.
hasn't got a track record.
Yeah, Reagan
in
was at least a
politics.
governor.
He
Right.
hasn't. No one can judge him other than his business career,
Right.
and possibly his personal dealings re Epstein,
And his foray into politics. I mean, you cannot
Which
be in
started
politics
when?
as an outsider. It's like getting in the water and hoping not to get wet.
But when did he start in politics?
As soon as he ran for office, as soon as he
Yeah,
decided
just
to make
now.
a run for presidency.
Yep, just
So
now.
As soon as
that's
he says,
recently.
I'm going to run. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sure is.
Is that good or bad? Are you saying?
Oh, I'm saying it's bad. I mean, again, if anybody that wants to forcibly, with the threat of death, inflict their rule over me and my neighbors, regardless of what we want, it's a bad idea.
Right,
whether
I got you.
Trump or
So,
Clinton, But
as in,
I think
in politics.
right, you don't get to be in politics as an outsider.
No,
You're
you're-
only in politics by
You're playing the
being
game.
a politician.
Even if you're a billionaire?
If you're a
Especially
billionaire and
if
decide
you're
to go
billionaire.
into politics, you have to be a politician to go into politics. You cannot go into politics without being a politician. It's like going in the
John's
water without
saying
getting wet.
he
Just shows
could
you
have
how
paid
sick
to
and tired
play.
people are.
Right. They want something
that they'll
different.
allow a non-politician to bypass politician school and take over. That's how sick.
Politician
Well,
school.
last 8 years ago, we allowed a person who could not produce a birth certificate and was running around dressed up in
He was a
Muslim
community
clothing.
organizer, for goodness
And
sakes.
he suddenly is president for 8 years. So, I mean,
Anything
we
when
can
they
happen,
stole the
know-
election
kids.
in 2000, I was done. I stopped voting. I stopped doing all of it because we had elected Gore and they stole it in Florida, and I was done. Finished. Over.
Do we know anyone else that has been elected that has not been a senator or governor or something?
Every single person before they went into politics,
As
every
president, you
senator,
mean, John?
every governor, every single person before they decided I want to run for an office was not a politician.
There was only
They
one
invited
person, I
people to
think.
become a politician.
Jackson, was it, or Lincoln? One of them.
Yeah, he's talking about the presidency.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who's made it to
Oh, that's a president
president,
specific?
who's never been a governor
There's
or
only been one or two
Who was
in the
it?
history. I can't
Oh.
remember. They said it on the news the other day. Well,
Oh, did they? Okay.
Wow, that's
Oh.
pretty.
I wonder if that was pre-1776. One of the 8 presidents before Washington.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. As I
I
recall.
would think there's a lot. I mean, you guys are saying that there's none that haven't either been like military or state government.
Well,
That's
that's
big
what we're
government.
asking.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking. Has there been a president-elect that
Yeah.
has not been military or government?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Um,
sure there's a lot.
You're hearing there's been a lot of presidents that haven't been. Is that what you're saying? or
Well,
not?
just
That's
5,
not-
actually.
I'm
There's-
just guessing, but I'll look it up.
I know
Okay.
Lincoln
I have
was
the- I have the
an
list.
attorney. Lincoln failed everything before he became president. He's like the poster child for never give up. If you've ever seen a list of his failures, and at the
Isn't-
very bottom is he, and then he became president.
So let me
He's
just
also the reason restoring the martial law.
Trump is the only one without previous
Where's that coming
prior
from?
political or military experience. There were 1, 2, 3, 4 other presidents before that had never been elected to public office. However, Trump is the only one without any prior political or military, and that
Or
is
military.
from Wikipedia, John, whether you believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, who knows?
There goes that.
Pretty interesting.
No, just wondering. And
So
I'm
he's the
wondering-
first one.
I'm wondering if the others, the ones prior to Washington, I would be surprised if somewhere in there wasn't someone who wasn't military and wasn't government.
Well, did they
Actually,
That's actually what I'm looking
properly
at right
voted.
now.
I don't even think they had a presidency, did they? There was no government. Was there?
Right.
There were
Yeah,
8
you might
presidents
be
before
right, yeah.
Washington.
Yeah, there were, yeah. But
I just
whether they
learned
had a
that
government-
recently. I'm telling you, I need to go back to kindergarten because I just found that out
It's
not
not
too
going to
long
do you any
ago.
good.
I know.
Go to kindergarten, they're going to tell you Washington was the first.
Right,
And
they're
the
not gonna
earth
say
is
that
a
in
ball. And the earth is a globe.
And the earth is a ball, right?
What you need is to go back to unlearning college.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do they have online courses?
Well,
Wait, watch this
Do they,
space.
wait, do they have a YouTube channel?
They
Yep,
have
hundreds.
liquid medicine and flower medicine that will reset you back pretty quick, too.
Oh boy. I love it when people, ballers that try to argue with us, say crap about YouTube, like you can't learn crap on YouTube. It's like, dude, all the information you ever needed and all the free thinkers are
We just
there.
talked about that just a minute ago, how much
Oh.
is there. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's great that you brought it back up because we just
Yeah.
said how much is there if they would just look.
By the way, the presidential inauguration is going to be on YouTube.
Yeah, right. Must be bullshit.
And Harvard Law and Business School offers courses on YouTube.
How long do you think it'll be before people no longer go to a physical place for school, whether it's college or whatever?
We're about 20 years overdue, to be perfectly honest.
Well,
Yeah.
I like the classroom experience. There's a lot that cannot be replaced online with the classroom experience.
But there's no reason why you can't have a classroom with a
It'll be V.
cyber teacher.
Right, virtual class.
But
Yeah,
also
so you get the interaction.
You ever get the feeling like it's kind of weird, like if you go to school and you're older, like at college, and then you have to go sit in the middle of all these strangers? It's like, it's kind of weird.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So where are you coming from? I can't find your name. Sorry, Prepper. Sorry.
California, I
Did
think.
you come from Twitter or where? Or YouTube?
No, man, I'm not on Twitter.
No, it should be.
Just YouTube.
So California just passed a law. They're going to legalize recreational marijuana. Hey,
Yeah,
is that a excitement for you or a sigh?
it's pretty interesting, but it's not legal to smoke in public, so it's not like a cigarette. It's like alcohol.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Well, they're going to control it and tax it, and there's going to be stipulations with it, but
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Vegas as well. I know a lot of people are excited about that one.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction, I'd say.
Well, they're already showing it's bringing down the Mexican drug cartels by legalizing marijuana over in the States, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which is an
I can't-
obvious domino
I think you're
effect.
gaining a lot of young minds, and a lot of people now are going to be more partnered with their government, because I can tell you for a long time people have just hated them for stuff like that.
But isn't the problem the government is going to become the seller?
No, I think it'll be privatized, but they impose a 15% tax. I mean, that's just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a 25% tax in Oregon for their recreational. It's insane.
It's insane for a plant that you can grow in your back garden, and
Yeah.
really it's entirely up to you whether you do or don't grow it.
It is good that you can grow it your own. I think it's part of the law.
You can, I can't.
I can. Yeah, you can't.
I can eventually, just not yet.
So,
So are you a flat earther, Prepper, by the way?
I was just going to ask you guys, so do you guys believe that the earth is flat?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't believe, we know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We can test it. So can you.
What do you
we have
think?
tested it, and we believe that that is the correct answer. Yes.
What kind of tests have you guys performed?
Oh, there you go, John.
Gyroscopes, or try and see something that you mathematically shouldn't be able to see.
Yeah.
On a sphere, go down to the coast. I don't know if you're anywhere near the coast. You can look at standing water has always been flat, and there is no examples of curved water or spinning earth or anything. You can
If you start from the start, John, you just say a 6 foot man with the mathematics, the calc maths for a globe is 3 miles for a 6 foot man if he's standing with his feet in the water. You should only be able to see 3 miles, and anything after 3 miles should be dipping over the curve. But that's not what happens. I've tested it with a telescope. I've seen at least 10 miles to the bottom of a boat.
Yeah,
at least.
I've done that as well. And there's the video proof on when the news showed seen across that lake. And basically the only thing that could explain it is if that whole light refraction is true, but I don't think it's true.
So what do you think then? If you're, I mean, you've seen what sort of stuff we put forward. What do you think in your gut? Do you think you've been lied? Do you think you've been lied to?
I would say the gut kind of tells you that it's flat, but I still need to conduct more research.
Absolutely.
That's how we all got to where we are today, sir. With that same
Well,
feeling of
that was a good
that's
answer.
beautiful. Yep, perfect.
Let me tell you guys though, I know like,
Amen.
the math doesn't lie, right? The Pythagorean theorem, and if you think it's a 25K circumference globe, but some of the people on YouTube, man, there's that whole other channel with Cordis and those idiots. They're just complete trolls. Like they can't even follow a line of conversation if you want to talk about math.
You should get on Twitter.
Yeah, we're all on Twitter. You need to join us on Twitter. We have fun on there.
Yeah.
Mhm. You should join.
Thousands of flat earthers.
Yep.
Well,
And
you
you'll
don't
never
even need to be a
ever
flat earther.
you'll never ever think that the Earth is flat until you go and test it for yourself. Now, people can tell you all you like. I can tell you what I see, but until you go out and you test it for yourself and you believe the math, you got to believe the math, because a lot of people will say, "No, that's not right. The Earth's bigger than that."
Yeah.
But you've got to believe the math is right.
There's nothing wrong with the math, because the water over a body of water will be evenly distributed. Of course, there's waves and stuff, but yeah, I mean, it curves 8 inches every mile downwards. So basically, like you said, if something is so far away, like I've gone to the coast and I've seen beach lines, which were like probably 50 to 60 miles away, and you can see it from another beach line. So either the light is refracting it like that hardcore, or the Earth is flat. It's one or the other.
Refraction's a real thing, but it's only minute. It's only minute.
Is much
and it
larger.
could refract both ways. It could.
Yeah.
It can't. The ballers seem to think that refraction only works one way, but it can go both ways as well.
But if the ball is bigger than they're saying it is, that throws out all of their models, all of their calculations, all the 24-hour days and the 365 year and all of that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So that's another possibility, but it's pretty unlikely.
Trapper, let me ask you something. Prepper, sorry. Have you been on our show before? You sound really familiar.
John, you sound familiar. I mean, your name. I don't know, though. Possibly.
That'd be me. Oh, I'm on YouTube.
Well, yeah, since you
with
guys
the gyroscope channel thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying I'm on YouTube as John Savage with a bunch of gyroscope videos and things like that.
Oh yeah.
A lot of us here have some channels you can go check out for sure.
What did you do? You just searched Flat Earth and Live or something, and we popped up.
Yep, that was it.
So it's obviously not the first time you've done that.
Oh no.
What is the normal sort of, you know, when it clicks in and you're listening and you're on, what are they normally sort of saying? Because I've done this probably several times, and all I've ever heard is, you know, F mother effer, you full of shit, and all this sort of stuff. Do you come across? You obviously do this quite often. Do you come across, you know, normal people talking normally, or
like us?
No.
Yeah.
No, very rarely, and it's to the point where I almost, in the back of my mind, think you guys might just be trolling me because I got trolled so hard the other day.
That's very ironic, because we were saying the same thing about you, my friend.
Yeah.
This one guy started calling me, like, you know, excuse my friend, started calling me a bitch and a pussy, and I was like, dude, I don't think you understand. I will freaking kill you. I'm gonna get your IP address, your freaking planner, and like, yeah, there's just punk all over the internet.
I was just saying earlier when we were doing the show a couple hours ago that I've noticed the trolls have come back fierce in the last month. It's like they've sensed another spike in us, and they're out in force, man. The ball denier, or the deniers are out.
That's interesting, though, that, you know, you don't come across sort of logical, normal people chatting about this sort of thing often.
Well, yeah. I'm just glad that that's been Iron Realm Media's whole goal. That is what we want. We want to have a forum where people can talk normally, rationally, you know, and present evidence and have equal time. I mean, that's what this subject needs.
Imagine how many people get put off this subject. You know, when you know, like when I first got into flat Earth in 2013 and went straight to the Flat Earth Society, and I was put off with all their bullshit. Imagine how many people are put off by putting in Flat Earth Live, listening to some lunatics effing and blinding at each other and talking rubbish. You know, most people are going to turn around and give that the fact that it's flat Earth anyway. They're going to give it even less time if all they're hearing of people just going, "Oh,
you're a retard, fuck you,
blah blah blah." I mean, it's quite mad, but yeah, we're here.
That'd be right. That'd be right with you, but James, wouldn't they?
Sometimes.
Or some rooms,
My
you
friend.
come in and they just go on for 3 to 4 hours talking nothing about science or Earth, just like complete side topics.
Yeah.
Oh, we get rambled now. We can scramble ourselves quite a bit and get off on topics that have nothing to do with flat Earth.
No, understandably, but I mean, it seems like that's not what you're dedicated to.
Well, most of our stuff is
ahead, John.
broadcast live. 90% of what we talk about and the stuff we put up has either been sabotaged or is not allowed to be broadcast live, or doesn't go out live. By the time it gets to going live, we're all sat here, you know, looking at our fingers going,
we should have done a show. Yeah.
I can ask you guys, I mean, what do you think about like the logo of it's not NATO, but it's the UN, and then also just all the other kind of logos and medallions that have like the same type of imagery?
Who wants to start?
It's hidden in plain sight. That's what we call it.
We live in a world not of words, but of symbols and imagery.
I mean, the biggest question is where is Antarctica on that map?
That is the question.
I mean, there is.
That is a good question, John.
Meant to be an inclusive world global map, then it should include the continent of Antarctica, and it doesn't. So what is going on there?
That's those interclosing olive leaves on each side. That's Antarctica.
You cannot have corners on a globe, though. That is why they have to do it. That's why they do it. You cannot have that on a globe.
Yeah.
Have you seen the latest from the Japanese well-designed award, where they gave the well-designed award to a new map of the world? Have you seen that?
No. How recent was that?
In the last week.
No.
Last week or two.
I haven't seen it either.
Have a look at that. Google or look up Japanese well-designed award map. And you will see that the Japanese company just got an award for their version of the map of the Earth, and it's completely different to anything we've ever seen, looked at, all the rest of it.
I'm looking at it right now, and Antarctica is the size of North America, even smaller.
Yep, and it's well, Bird said Antarctica was larger than North America.
Well, he said there was an area as large as the United States.
That's right. Yeah.
The United States is only about 33% of North America, it looks like.
33%, really?
Yeah, well, did I have to just drop that number? Sorry.
And going back to the logos, there's 33 little spots on the Flat Earth UN map, of course. There's 33 slots on it. Yeah.
Segments. Yeah.
Teaching kids masonry.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially that's the question. You know, if the what we're told, you know, when we say that the UN map is an equidistant, azimuthal equidistant map of the world, blah, blah, blah. We're told that no, it's not. It's just a 2D flat representation of a 3D globe. And in answer to that, where is Antarctica?
Yeah, they totally shit the bed, proverbially, on the Antarctica, if that is a 2D representation.
If they'd included Antarctica, then we wouldn't have a leg to stand on. But
No, to be at
fact
least
is they
plausible,
don't.
yeah.
Yeah, fact is they don't. Don't know, very strange. I still
John, I
don't
just
think it's
sent you.
accurate.
John, I just sent you a DM with a link to the map if you want to share it with the group. I don't know how to do
Okay.
that.
No worries.
Well, it says the
Early
UN
on.
flag was approved in 1946. Who was the president in 1946?
Oh, you're
Roosevelt.
testing. Is it a multiple choice?
I believe it's FDR, who was
FDR? I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
a Freemason, hardcore Freemason.
Absolutely. Either way, that was around when the treaty was signed and the all that wonderful stuff got snowballed through.
Wasn't he the one that actually wanted to have the UN declare the world flat? I think he was the president that actually wanted to do that.
He did?
I'm pretty sure it was Roosevelt. One of them was like the last one who was holding on to that idea. And
Wait,
he
there
was,
has been a
Yeah, hang on.
president that's
Yeah, hang
wanted
on, let me
to?
look it up.
Come on.
pretty sure this is early on when I was looking this stuff up. Hang on, I'll find it.
Well, yeah, it probably would be him because he was a confirmed Freemason.
You see that?
Yep, we can see it.
Look at that. It's almost the size of South America.
Or is it President Harry
So
Truman?
what is supposed to be Antarctica? That yellow thing at
never
the
mind.
bottom?
This was early days of exploration into this flat earthness. This comes from the Flat Earth Society, this information.
that's
So never mind.
Truman.
What?
Never
So
mind.
where is? Oh, this is an
Yeah.
interesting map.
The well-designed award.
Well, where's Greenland?
Can anybody
Yeah.
present that?
Am I not? Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, you are. Sorry.
You got that?
Yep, I see it.
Look at how big. Is that Russia in the blue? They've made Russia gigantic. Bigger than Canada, which is untrue. It's about the same, I thought.
Yeah.
Just as a side, that was from a 1980 interview with the then President Johnson of the Flat Earth Society, Charles K. Johnson, who was saying that about Roosevelt. So it has suddenly become less information than I knew.
Yeah,
Or true.
it would really bother me if a president had actually considered or spoken flat Earth.
When he said the name, it dinged in my head. I'm like, wait, wasn't he flat earthing way back?
I wonder what Trump thinks about that.
We might be finding out soon.
There's been some fake stories floating around already that Trump is coming out with flat Earth stuff. And that there's a fake CNN website.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff already. I think it's like the same Kubrick confession.
It's the same
Just
rumor
trying to
that was
hold that
pegged
up.
on Putin unveiling that 9/11 was an inside job, and same kind of rumors.
Well, it would make
Everybody
sense
just-
because you know how all the government and the world government is coming down real hard on global warming right now. Donald Trump stood up in front of everybody on TV and said, "Global warming is a hoax, folks." That's what he said.
It truly is, though. I mean, it goes back to Al Gore's little phony pitch there. It's another way for them to tax and make more money. It's interest on interest. It's just another stream of money. This carbon bullshit.
It's just a scam.
It is. It's another scam to put a bleed, and it's another drip of our funds. That's all it is. It's another control system. They cherry pick the data so much in terms of the reports and all of it's kind of like the way I look at the environmental agencies, and I hate to say it because it shouldn't be this way, but if you really dig into how the EPA and all that is run, it's run very similar to the lobbying and all that happens in the pharmaceutical industries.
Yep.
and it's about as corrupt, I believe, as well. So literally, like, when you look at the whole impact of what humanity has done, temperature and you know, ozone and all those fake things, it's insignificant, and history will show you it's been a million times hotter and all that. So it's just a moneymaker. That's it. People have to wake up.
I'm awake.
Morning.
I'm trying to wake up.
I think the key to flat Earth for me is Antarctica. If I could fly down to Antarctica, see no 24-hour sun, and it's done and dusted, it's finished. Or if I saw a 24-hour sun, then you have to think the other way. So I think Antarctica is the number one priority on how I see it.
Yeah, I'd like to go to North Pole.
That's for
as
people.
well.
That's for people who can't. That's for normal people who can't get in a rocket and fly 100 miles in the air.
Be
Can't
nice
you?
to have North Pole and South Pole, you know.
I want to do what Picard did back in 1930s.
I definitely would want to do that.
Yeah, I'm in for that. That idea has got me since you mentioned it a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what also doesn't add up is, like, why is there not so much more footage of rockets taking off every year or so, and they just have a continuous stream all the way out to like 1 million miles or something like that? They just don't have those. It's just
Yeah.
BS.
With cameras facing backwards and forwards.
Right. But we can
Yeah.
get pictures of Jupiter and
In
all the Voyager
1080p,
photos.
in
Right.
2200.
We can sit. We have Mars rovers, but yet they can't film the Earth.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Have you looked into the guy that is the actor, the lead actor, who's the Mars rover guy? He's so phony.
Oh no, I haven't.
Oh man, I'll find something here. Give me a second.
He's probably one of those guys that the movie producers take him in and like rape him and do some weird shit so that he just. What happens in Hollywood?
Yes, it does. Yes, sir. You've done a lot of research.
Yeah, right.
Awesome.
Get a square on facial view of them and see if their eyes have dropped. One eye is lower than the other.
I'm sorry, but that's probably why Leo is such a hardcore climate person now. He's just been completely turned out. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome, right at the butt.
As I'm looking at that map that I finally see on giant screen, there's still a huge, huge area between South America and Australia that could hide so much.
I was
That's my big
watching
thing,
Waterworld
is
the other day.
On purpose?
Yeah. they could literally hide an entire continent and we wouldn't know about it. I was also watching All Is Lost on recommendation by Mike.
All is lost. I don't know.
It's cool. What's his name?
Adam Steltzner is the name of that phony hack that they hired to play the coordinator of the Mars rover team. Adam Steltzner. He is the phoniest mother.
Action Man.
The one sitting at the desk and
You
jumping
got to
up
pull him
and
up, John, for a laugh, please, if you can. Because I don't think Patrice has seen him yet.
He's got
I don't
one
think
of those
so.
knobs on the back of his head that moves his eyes.
Yep. I mean, wouldn't you guys think that they would have personal drones that they just launch right from the ISS? It's pretty much like a handheld space device, and they just rove and film it.
You would think.
I mean, why wouldn't we have footage of that?
Well, you could just set up a camera pack with a little jet propulsion pack, and away you go. It'd be brill.
Because it's flat. That's why, Prepper.
Because they're in low orbit, and then they're still inside the dome. That's why.
I'm just feeding the fire with questions.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
they're
I'm
open.
convinced there, man, that you've been on our show. I recognize voices. I know you've been on our show before. Which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, very possible.
Oh, yeah, there he is. There's the guy.
No, I've never seen him before.
Oh, he's such a jerk.
Let me bring up.
Oh, yeah.
his
What a
press
douchebag.
conference.
They
Reminds-
start,
reminds me
Patrice,
of
they
Gavin
start
Newsom.
out.
Are people just getting sniped?
That's
Yeah.
yeah,
He's
an
it looks
actor.
like it. Yep, we are.
He's an
Google
actor,
is
that guy.
notorious
It
for kicking
always,
half of us off at a
it
time.
always happens.
Yep.
When we get heated.
Uh-huh. So anyways, they start asking him real life data questions about the landing, and his answers are so unbelievable any which way you try and rationalize or reconcile them, that it's shocking. It's shocking what he says.
It's shocking that he doesn't have a
it's
better story.
like you literally cannot believe your ears when you hear him ask, like, with the press, or like, so tell me about the logistics of this piece of equipment that needed to be measured in the land. He literally looks like a deer in the headlights and says, Dave, where's Dave? Is Dave here? Dave.
Doesn't it strike you as like an actor, like someone that'd be in like a Scott's Trade commercial or something?
Oh,
Failed
man.
actor.
We just
Hey, James,
They're all
James,
actors.
who was the guy that I thought looked exactly like him? Can you remember about a month ago or so ago, I posted another guy that looked exactly like him? Can you remember that?
I think it's Gavin Newsom, because I was saying that looks like Gavin Newsom.
I can't remember what it was about,
Who's
but I
Gavin
posted
Newsom?
a photo.
Yeah, I don't know who
photo.
that is, but he does kind of look like another actor now that you've said something. I don't know if that's a mind
He
game.
looks like the game show host for the, I don't know, Chuck Woolery. I forget what game shows he was on. That's who
He
he
was
reminds me
on-
of.
Like
Yep.
the dating game, wasn't that it?
Yeah, the dating
Or
game.
the
Yeah,
Newlywed
after
Back in 2 and 2.
no, that was Bob Eubanks, the Newlywed Game.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Chuck Woolery also did like a constitutional
See,
thing.
doesn't he look like him? He looks like him. He's, of course, Woolery's a lot older, but he does look like him. So, is there any way you can play video for us to watch? Let's see him make a fool out of himself.
It doesn't really work. It doesn't film that fast
Oh,
of a rate, I don't think.
okay.
Probably
I'll have to
not
look him
without
up on my
getting-
own time.
Yeah, you will
Oh.
get a
But
laugh.
NASA will
Adam
probably give us
Stelzner.
a
Okay.
copyright strike. NASA will probably give us.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that's definitely something.
Those on Twitter, look.
What were you saying earlier, John, about a photo that Jaronism and his girl had done? They had just done the one photo and exposed more scuba stuff. Was that you?
Don't know. Was it?
That was the very beginning
That
of the
latest one that they did.
call. We were
It
talking.
wasn't a photo. It was a 2-hour video.
A video,
that they've just posted.
Oh, it
live,
was a video. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I think the census was as the more majority come to it, we're gonna start seeing all kinds of things. You know, in that older footage, there's gems waiting to be found.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Rob, maybe you can talk more on the bubbles. Or not.
Oh man, I was all muted myself talking. Sorry. Yeah, the bubble thing is pretty ridiculous. Again, I guess if we throw up like a video that just shows seconds of clips real quickly, hopefully that'll avoid it. Isn't it like 10 seconds or less?
Oh shit, I don't know.
I think it is. Oh, Mike's little assembly video with all the little quick cuts. Let me throw that up real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't
And
know
while
if you like tasers, but I just did a pretty sick, uploaded a video of a review of a taser I just bought.
Who's that? Prepper, is it?
You're
Prepper.
lucky you can buy those in the States. I can't get them here.
You can't even get tasers there?
No, taser's illegal in Canada. I had to like go through special channels to get my my collapsible batons, but
Catapults are the way
the-
forward.
most that we can get is I went into a store called
Trebuchet?
Canadian Tire and bought bear mace like without any problem. So I've got cans of bear mace.
Oh, that's right, the bear mace. Forgot about the bear mace. That's madness.
Catapults. Have you looked into them, James?
Oh yeah.
What are you
What do-
saying, James? Are you
Yeah.
saying Canadians are disarmed?
No, I have my gun license. You have to register. You have to have a gun license. You're tracked very closely here in Canada when you own a weapon. But you're definitely allowed to be armed. Shotgun, rifle, hunting guns are one non-restricted class, and then you have a restricted class, which I have my restricted license, which lets me shoot handguns as well and any ancient or antique guns or hobby guns. But overall, Canada has a ban on automatic weapons, so
Wow.
you cannot use automatic weapons of any kind.
Did
in
you have an incident that happened in Canada that sparked that legislation, or
I don't remember. I always remember Canada. I mean, I'm almost 40, and I remember as far back as I can, the laws never changing. It was always a ban on automatic weapons, and there was always Canada always had a stricter stance on gun control.
no? We had the Dunblane incident in the UK and the Hungerford incident in the UK. Australia, they had what was it, Rob? Port David or Port Macquarie? No.
Port Arthur.
I'm sure as
Port
I look
Arthur.
back, there might be.
Port Arthur in Australia.
Yeah, Port Arthur was a load of shit.
Yep. And another false flag designed to bring about disarmament of the people.
In the UK, is it legal for you to apply for a gun license and purchase gun?
You can apply for a shotgun if you're a farmer or something along those lines, but no, you can't own a handgun or anything else. Basically, you can apply for a shotgun license, but only if you've got an
in
excuse.
Australia. In Australia, you can apply for a license. You must be in a gun club, and when your gun is not being used to and from the gun club, you must have it in a safe, pulled apart.
Yeah.
This is exactly like Canada. That is right. I do have to be. I mean, I'm not. You don't have to be an active member, but the same rules apply, Rob. You have to have it locked and disassembled, and your ammo can be stored with your gun, even. But
Yep.
yeah,
You must be a part of a gun club, and you must attend a gun club at least a couple of times a year, I believe. So no, you must go to the gun club, and police will come to your house and every few months, and they will check out, and they will lob at your door and make sure that your gun is in your safe
and secure.
My mate's got a shotgun, not a shotgun, but a rifle license. He tells me he's the only one within the M25 within London that has one. He's ex-army. He's basically bodyguard to high-end people, diplomats, that sort of thing. You can own these things in the UK, but you have to jump through hoops to get anywhere close to it.
Wow.
Whereas in the US, you could just go down and, as far as I know, walk into a shop and buy exactly what you want. Is that right?
Well, no, because to a large degree in a lot of states, but back in '86 and also back in like 1934 or something, they made it illegal to own machine guns, pretty much.
Is that just in your state?
Well, sorry, not to own them, but to buy them. It's stupid. No, that's federal.
Right.
But like, did you guys? I was curious if you guys saw what happened in Bundy Ranch in, I believe it was Oregon.
Charlie Hebdo.
Yeah,
No, Bundy.
yeah, I did.
I mean, yeah, those were gunned militiamen out there telling the cops to stand down at gunpoint. It's pretty crazy. We got a lot of guns. Supposedly, there's more guns in America than people.
Oh, by far, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can believe that.
I know a lot of people who own guns, and not one of them owns a single gun. They all own multiple.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
how many people do you know that own one gun?
Me.
You're in Canada.
I only have one. But it's a good one.
You're in Canada. I've got a catapult. I'm in the UK.
I sent the link to Mike's bubble video, which, Mike pretty much gave us implicit go ahead with any of his stuff. So if you want to show that, just as an example, you certainly can.
You got a
It's
link?
in the Hangout. It's in the Hangout. Can you get to the Hangout, or do you put it in the Hangout?
Okay, so in originals,
Oh no, I put it in the actual Hangout chat. I forgot. Let me go put it in the original.
what's the Hangout chat?
Just hit the camera area at the top of your screen, and it should back into where the chat is.
Yeah,
But I
best
can-
if you
Yeah, I'll just send
if you
it to
do
you.
it through Twitter. It's a lot easier.
You see, you guys are both logged into the same account, hey? Josh and Walt.
Uh-huh.
We are.
Yeah. I thought you just did that so in hopes of not getting kicked.
Oh, I must have, when I
So-
came back on, I must have hit the wrong entrance.
You still
and then
there,
the wrong
Prepper?
profile.
He's there. He's muted. I'm hoping he's there.
Yeah, I'm still there.
All right, you still there? Then how about giving us a rundown through prepping? I take it you're into prepping through your name.
I dropped it in core, John.
Okay, I've got it.
Sorry. There, Prepper, go ahead. Uh-oh, we may have lost him.
No, okay.
Getting sniped.
So, what did you want me to bring up? It's a GIF, is it? Well,
Yeah, the one Mike had done earlier in the week with all the bubbles in space just floating around back to back to back.
sorry.
Interesting. Yeah, I just now saw my picture coming up. That's interesting.
You see that?
All right, Josh, we have to talk at the same time, and they're not going to ever believe we're two different people. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I think we should do this.
All right, go.
You have failed.
There you go.
Hello. Hello.
Hello?
You go.
All right, your turn.
All right, we're real.
All right, here we go. I see it now on John's screen.
John, you were not presenting.
Am I not?
There you go. Yep.
Okay.
Nope.
Hey, John, just pause for a sec there.
Hold on. Trying to present first.
I just had a super hardcore deja vu from like the internet in like the late 90s when this is how you watched videos. It looked like that.
Oh, totally, man. Totally.
Pause where, man?
The eerie sound of the dial-up modem.
I remember that.
Dad, get off the phone. I got to use the internet.
That Shola. Hey, John, that Shola dog there, when I got on Twitter, he was a Boston. He was a Boston bombing troll.
Really?
That's when I got on Twitter for Boston bombing, and I was right into that.
Mm-hmm.
And Shola Dog was the #1 troll who would absolutely shoot you down no matter what you said about the Boston bombings.
Yeah,
Now the Boston bombings is out of the news.
And he's involved in the flat Earth.
So now he's moved over to here.
It looks like we have one for our future wall of shame.
Absolutely. We got a lifer.
I have a new technique for trolls.
What's that?
It's
Go ahead.
called ignore.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I don't
Especially for
block. I don't
certain-
mute. I just ignore.
Certain specific trolls, that is the best technique you could use.
I
Watch them blow up.
I've come up across a couple that if you don't answer, have you ever come across ones that if you don't answer their questions, they react? I've come across a few of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they get mad that you're not interacting with them.
So angry. The more you ignore, the angrier they seem to get.
I either end up.
You know why that is?
Morning,
They
which
get
is much-
paid by response.
Yeah.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
That's good to know. I'll start ignoring them more.
I will definitely ignore more. Right, that's it. Trick.
That's an interesting one. How would you know that, Josh?
Yeah, who
Josh.
said that, Josh?
That's what it says on my paycheck stub.
That's what it said in the book last night.
Good one.
And sometimes you just got to react violently, you know, because like you can't just let them speak like that. So it's either you can ignore them, which is nice, but sometimes you just got to threaten them with violence. It seems.
What's your hot button? Because sometimes you can hold out. Sometimes it gets
Sometimes
you
you just
so
get triggered,
mad.
right?
Yeah. What's your hot button, Prep?
Mine is never a hot button, like in the sense that I'm like irrational. It's always like if they it's based on their behavior. And if they, you know what I mean? Like if they want to like just call you a bitch or something like that a bunch of times.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which we tend to get a lot. Moron, don't reproduce,
Yeah.
choke on your own spit and die. Yeah, we get a lot.
What? At that level, if you can't kick them, then you just got to put them. I don't know.
Mine is purely just attitudinal based. It all depends on my attitude. Very rarely do I feel the need to get riled up enough to engage. Usually it's just
Mm-hmm.
I think most of us in
ignore.
this group used to do a lot more of it than we do now because we've kind of just seen that it really leads to a lot of wasted energy in the long run.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
and I
See,
think
what
that's
I-
why
all
they
of-
get paid per
All our
response.
I've
nights
got-
and days of.
I've got an opinion on that. Well, if I
Go ahead.
post something, post something good on, say I post a video or I post a good meme or something like that. If they start talking to you or interacting and you talk back, are way down the list, and someone that clicks on your page might not be able to see your meme or, you know what I mean? And then all you've got
Yeah,
is
I never thought
talking.
about
All you got is
that.
talking.
Right. That's even see, John, Rob, that's why your thinking processes are so awesome. Because I never thought about it that way. But yeah, you're exactly right. It
Yeah,
carries
that's
its way
what
down your feed.
that's the reason why I don't. If I do talk to them, I'll go and find something else good to have at the top of the page. I know you got your pinned tweet.
Yeah, because you know what?
have other
If you're an arguer, all people are going to see is just white blank messages on your page. They're going to be like,
Yep. And all
Exactly.
your good stuff is going to be down the bottom, and that's why I block. I said, you piss me off straight away.
you're done.
I block you straight away. I don't even want to know you.
You know, the sad part about the whole thing is that these are real people, and a lot of times these are the kind of people that are in like government and stuff. Like they won't answer questions. They're just irrational.
Yep.
Like the same how they're on here, they're out there in real life too.
Oh yeah.
That's the sad part.
Well, I'm going to take a little bit of a timeout here. I will be back in a couple minutes, folks. Keep going.
Surely.
We're gonna time him 12 minutes.
Don't drown yourself. I want to hear
So
bubbles
what
in
is this?
space.
What is the bubbles in space? I keep getting kicked off the call, and I have to keep getting myself back on. What was the bubbles in space?
Just one of our-
Jaren,
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say Jaren just did a recent video where they went through, what did I hear? Apollo 16, some of their
Oh.
footage, and just
Okay.
tore it apart and found
Nice.
evidence of scuba divers that looked like they had been sort of chroma keyed out of
Oh.
the video. So
Nice.
what you see is like a backpack, but the backpack seems to move on its own, kind of following the astronauts around.
Mm-hmm.
So they just sat there and just went through basically frame by frame and just
Nice.
scrutinized every single little aspect of it and watched the backpack float and found out where they could be grabbing their feet and holding them up and repositioning the astronauts. All kinds of crazy stuff.
Who did it, Jaren?
Jared.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look at it.
Nice. I thought it was recent stuff. I didn't know it was that old. That's nice. Yeah.
Oh, it's old.
So
Okay.
No,
Apollo
it's recent.
16.
Last week.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
the
right.
Apollo
Okay.
16 mission is old. I meant that's what I meant. I
Right.
thought it was a recent find, something from like ISS or.
And I'm not even sure what the scuba dive was. I think I heard that earlier when we were first hanging out.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I heard somebody say that.
Nice.
I just watched it. It does look like bubbles. It looks like it also could be space dust, but I don't even know if that's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a thing, but it's completely detrimental to anything in space, really, with electronical components or a pressurized system.
With all that
Space dust
exposed
does not
crap
do well.
that they have to go outside and play with instead of having it inside the
Yeah, that's
protected
so
atmosphere.
stupid. Yep. Really stupid. Or they're playing ping pong with water and ugh, they're such
Watercolors,
idiots.
yeah.
Total idiots. Bad acting.
Good thing they just happened to ship us a monkey suit up to the ISS.
Mm-hmm. Where payload is so important and
Right.
down to the microgram, but yeah.
They had a monkey suit? Those fools.
Oh, you see it? You haven't seen that? It's so ridiculous, Teresa. It is ridiculous.
No, I've not seen that.
It is the most ridiculous thing you've seen.
They are just mocking. That's all they do. And people eat it up. Wow, look what they're doing up there right
You
now.
want to see? Tim Peake
Yeah.
gets chased by a gorilla.
Oh, it's Tim Peake, idiot.
Of course, exactly.
Jerk.
Sometimes you even wonder if it would even be possible for any human to be in
It's
space.
that Euro News is the one I went to, but yeah, that could be it.
Oh, I just figured out how to make this bigger. Oh my gosh! Oh, Scott Kelly's in on it. I can't stand him either. Oh my god. Whose video is this? Who did this?
Billions of dollars.
Uh-huh.
Right, it probably cost 60 grand to get that gorilla suit to the ISS.
Oh
But
my
also,
gosh.
look how careless.
Ape in space. I like that hashtag.
Oh,
Ape
and
in
there's
space.
Medusa. Oh, if there's one I hate, it's her. Oh,
She's the one who glued her hair, so it looked like it was.
right. Yeah, Medusa.
Flying. Yeah.
That looks real.
That was the.
I'm back on the ball now.
Oh, look at the hair.
Yeah. Lying sellout piece of crap.
That seems reasonable.
They really don't even try with these sets, do they? To make it look complicated and sophisticated. The equipment. You know what I mean? It's like, can't you
No.
do a little better?
Just loose
Just
wire
enough.
hanging and tubing, and they're constantly
Yeah.
pushing off against a wall, which
It's
would throw
really-
momentum into the whole system and send them
It's
careening out of orbit. And you
it's
know,
really bad, you know, for anyone that thinks critically. It's just really bad. Bye-bye. Go get sucked into space so we never have to see your face again.
Right, I'm just going to go down here to my Han Solo secret smuggling stash.
right?
Yeah, that hair's got to go, girlfriend.
I know, and I have a female friend who I've been trying to show some of this stuff to, and she's consistently telling me, "Well, that's how your hair would look in zero-G gravity,
Yeah.
gravity-free environment." I'm like, "No, go watch somebody swimming underwater. Watch
No,
a
I
watched that
long-haired
blonde.
female swimming underwater. That's
At
how
that-
your hair would look."
At that supposed elevation that they're at, is there supposed to be any gravitational pull? So are they still having to constantly boost rockets?
Microgravity. They're under
Yeah.
microgravity.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Well, technically, they're not in space.
Yeah,
They're in
they're
low Earth orbit.
constant
Apart
falling.
from her
That's what
hair.
they're doing.
So they're just applying a slight thrust constantly upwards.
So if they're
With
in
what
low
engines?
Earth
They have no
orbit, then why is her hair standing up?
Wait, they have no
Right.
engine?
Exactly.
It's all air pressure done up there. It's all done by air pressure. There's no engines on that thing.
Wow. So that's crazy.
So every push they do against a wall should send them careening out of orbit, which they should have to compensate immediately for every time they shove off one wall and go sliding down that long corridor while the plane is in its apogee. But
Or the monkeys chase each other
are
around.
the monkeys chasing them, right?
About monkey suits or guitars, yeah.
Guitars. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Well, you know, one of the
The suit in space.
when he went.
She's got some bony knees too.
Had to work her way up to the ISS.
I wonder what
He did
acting
not.
qualifications these people have. Like, do they go to Harvard acting school? Obviously not.
No, they probably snipe them from some Midwest college just so they can fully indoctrinate them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want someone with city ties.
Crazy.
That looks real.
Would you shut up, John?
Well, they filmed that with the satellite X34-7 to get that high def quality right above the ISS in complete orbit with it. They had to track that perfectly.
This is Halo 2, right?
It's ridiculous.
See, that doesn't- It's chroma keyed.
This is a Halo
Yeah, but
commercial.
both of those were going at two different directions. You notice the background?
Were they?
Yeah, the one on the right was going a different direction than the one on the left.
That's
They did-
pretty
They were
bad.
turning independently.
Now I think they're in sync now. At least they're
Yeah,
going
but
in
It's
for
the
the
same
going
first second
faster.
they're not. Right, yeah.
Look at those wires. That looks like something from 1960 on the wall. It's crazy.
And the edges of his body still look like it was chroma keyed in there.
Yup.
What's chroma key?
Like green screen?
Oh,
show
green
the
screen.
back. Have you seen the checkered board, blue and white? Uh-oh, she's gone.
There was two of them. There was another one. If you look on that intro that I did, I included
Yeah.
two pictures of two different astronauts using that chroma key.
Mm.
They could probably just have a giant balloon green screen that they could just print stuff on for video camera.
So how can you tell it's a green screen?
No, I'm just saying it's possible.
Edge of the body, edge of backgrounds, edge of like the
Because-
window edges.
If
Mhm.
you play with a green screen for a little bit and trying to get rid of that green background and keep only the image that you want in the foreground, you have to start adjusting with the edges of your foreground image, and that adjusts the
Mhm.
smoothness. But there's always going to be that kind of disconnect between the foreground image that you have and whatever new image you're putting in the back.
Mhm.
Usually they try to minimize it by matching up the lighting, so when the lighting matches, you don't question it. But the more
Okay.
you look and the more you play with it, you can just see that it just doesn't ever seem to line up. You can always just see the
Mhm.
the detail is different between the foreground and the background that goes just beyond focus. It's
Mhm.
really- I don't know. You'd have to play with it a little bit, but you get to see. You watch some bad chroma key.
That's what I was gonna say. Watch some bad movies sometimes, some bad like late '80s, early
Mhm.
'90s special effects science fiction movies, and you'll see it all over the place.
Mhm.
And then those are just always
That looks real, John.
that's a big
That's real.
On
Those
that
are-
note, I'm going to have to go, I'm afraid. It's probably nearly 2 o'clock. Oh, right.
Oh, it's past your bedtime.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Aw, good night.
cheers. I'm gonna go grab some food and I'm gonna stay in now, but I'm gonna be back in just a few minutes.
All right, I reckon we'll be here. I doubt we're going anywhere.
Same time tomorrow, maybe?
All right.
Sounds
I
good.
Yeah, I'll
Good
try
night.
to pop in if I can. I'll be at an event though, but I'll try to pop in. I actually was going to see if my son wanted to go and we could do some like on the street interviews.
That'd be good.
Oh, that's good. On the street interviews about what?
Maybe flat Earth.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
How old's your son?
He's 20.
And he'll
And
do it with
very
you?
awake. Oh yeah, he's very awake and aware.
Great. So the man on the street, putting the truth out there.
There's a art walk downtown in Lafayette tomorrow that a family member has an art booth set up. So we're gonna go hang out with her and then walk around there. And we've done it a few different times and met some interesting people.
Nice. Do you record it?
I did last week a little bit. Like they had a guy that had a board set up, or it was actually the local cable access channel there in town, had a board set up on the street, a big whiteboard with magnetic letters. So everybody was writing messages, and then they started handing out markers for people to write on there. So I got up there and was writing like Earth is flat and
Good.
space is fake and just all kind of things.
Nice. And they left it? They let it stay?
For a little while. When we walked back down the street an hour later, they had erased everything and started over with a fresh board. But it was up there for a good couple of 3 hours.
Oh, that's pretty good.
But yeah, we're going to go check it out tomorrow and help her set up. And
Is that during the day or at night?
It starts as daylight is ending. It's around 5 it starts, and then it goes into about 9 o'clock. So
fun.
Okay, take it easy, guys.
All right, John.
Bye, John.
Bye, John. Sleep well.
Yeah. Take care, my man.
Good night.
Wow, I'm down to 13%. I just heard my phone beep at me. Let me go see if I can get a
Uh-oh.
charger.
Find
Yeah,
a
and I'm in
plug.
a strange room that I don't have a. There's one maybe. Let me see if I can work this out. I'll be right back.
Look. Good stuff. I'm glad we went live. We probably hung out for 2 hours before we decided to go live.
Yeah, we picked Mr. Prepper.
Pretty much me. I'm not a part of a particularly hot.
Yeah, and we need to make sure that we get him on Twitter with us, man.
Yeah, he needs to get on Twitter.
He's still here? Yeah, there he is.
He's on mute.
That's cool. But yeah, man. Just get on Twitter, search an account, hang out with us. We do this too often, actually, and it's about to become like very often. So.
Well, that's good. So why do you think everything gets sabotaged from the Iron Realm media?
History.
Oh my goodness. This has been quite a. I told a friend today, he was like, when I started telling some of the drama, he was like, man, you should write this stuff out. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been threatening to do. It's a movie waiting to be made for sure.
There's been quite a bit of drama, and we don't want to throw anybody under the bus or
not at all.
talk bad about people that may have been a part of the drama. So it's kind of hard to get into it too much. But
okay,
it's just been what seems to be a concerted effort to instigate drama and major conflict. Every time we start gathering some momentum, and then just enough to stop it or slow it down or blow the whole Twitter room up. And
we almost had it happen in general chat twice now. You know this.
Was this the person whose name starts with an H?
No. Yeah, not necessarily that person, no. But I'm just saying, you've seen things that are very tumultuous, if we will, in those rooms. When we get that way, and then just certain people over time that we've had very close into our inner sanctum, I guess, have suddenly become ballers again, and suddenly
that's crazy. Nobody does that. Absolutely nobody does that.
I'll send you his at here in just a minute.
Well,
let you check out his history.
I'm not saying that he didn't do it, but he was never sincere
really
to begin with.
Exactly what we're trying to show people. But all this crazy conspiracy, there are people that's trying to bust up this truth movement thing. We've been hit by it at least 3 times, and I know 100%.
Oh my gosh! Why can't they just leave us the H alone? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's not the same person, they work like within.
If it's not the same person, right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
So it's different people. You're saying?
Possibly.
Possibly the same.
Sometimes it's the same.
They come in cycles.
You can
Yep.
see when it's the same person talking to himself versus when it's two different people having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
When it's one person
Are we
trying
on?
a single
Are
point.
we
of-
on Shills?
We're
Shillards?
talking about, without naming names, we're
Without
discussing
naming names.
Saboteurs.
history.
Sock
Yeah.
sock puppets.
Sock account.
Professional
Sock.
provocateurs that we've had here in Iron Realm Media.
There have been quite a
Without
few.
naming names.
There have been a few. There have been some memorable ones.
Yes, there have.
It's been pretty peaceful lately, I think.
I think we
I know.
managed to.
That's no good
That's been
too,
hard
though.
fought.
You need somebody to shake it up. You also need But yeah, it's been a great ride, and it's going to be an even better ride as we keep going.
So how did you guys
Yeah.
all initially find each other?
Like this, hanging out on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
We just started following each other,
Yeah.
and then about a month later, I got added into a group with these fine gentlemen, except
Mhm.
for Josh. Josh came aboard later,
Mm-hmm.
and that was in December
Yep.
of 2014 or 2015. Sorry,
2015. Okay.
and then
Not that long.
another room fizzled out, and then there was another one made, and then in February was when the real big room was made with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But we
Is
have
that
at
the-
least
is
one
that the
dangling
one-
website out there. We have a.
Yeah, what's up with the website?
Well, now our
Ooh, we have some
website is
good
about to
news
get,
on that.
like, yeah, it's about to get crazy.
Yeah, it's about to
Oh,
disappear
yeah?
and
Historically-
get relaunched.
Right.
Nice.
Historically, there's a tested website. Truth. Oh my goodness. The Earth Truth. Oh, I can't remember what it was now. The Earth Science Truth something investigation team, I think. And we have a website with a nice graphic, and you go to it, and that's it. That's all that's there. Because that was one of the rooms that was like so close, and we had a site started, and we were all starting to learn video editing and how to get this podcast thing going, and drama, and blew up. And in fact, the person who was kind of at the head of all that, if you will, or trying to make that happen, if you will, as far as the website design part of it, is one of the
Right.
people that is now gone back on the ball, allegedly.
Oh, sure.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Back on the ball.
Mhm.
Once you go flat, you never go back, baby.
Exactly.
Don't tell me that.
Unless we're talking about something else.
God.
That is the one exception, folks. I kept it PG.
You did. Very nice. Very nice. But certainly it has been a ride for sure. But
So what are the business plans going forward?
This is private stuff here.
Oh.
Patrice,
we
you're
gotta keep the
Inquiring
natural
minds
secret-
want
the
to
secret-
know.
your
behind
knack
the
for
scenes.
asking questions, Lois, is unbelievable.
Oh, this guy.
Lois, I like that. That's a new nickname. I like it.
That's too awesome. Yeah.
Too bad Clark dropped off the call earlier, hey?
Right.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
No, but we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of things. I mean, let's go
Yeah.
over some of the highlights of the movement.
Yes,
From
do
our
that.
perspective.
Well,
What
let's
was?
see.
When did you come in? By the way, sorry, Trixie, you asked so many questions. When did you come in?
Well, I became a flat earther at the very end of June, and just came on Twitter and started finding people
This year?
Now,
this year. Yeah,
were you on
Wow.
Twitter as a regular?
I was, but I was inactive. I've, supposedly been on Twitter since 2009. And I used to always make a joke when I would get an email like every 6 months that somebody was following me. And I would say, well, they're going to be pretty disappointed because I don't say much on there. Well, that kind of changed, didn't it?
Right.
Mm. So what was
What
it?
happened?
It was something you saw something on the internet about flat Earth and decided
Yes.
to fire up Twitter.
Well, what happened was I was on YouTube. I forget what I was looking at. and there was something that came up on the suggested videos and had flat earth in the title. So, I felt like the Holy Spirit was prompting me to look into that. So then I, just went down the YouTube rabbit hole of flat earth.
The frenzy. Tell us about the first 24. It's always a delight to hear about those.
The what?
The frenzy in the first
sleepless
24.
nights and the can't go to bed because you're researching.
Well,
right.
it really hasn't ended. So I'm just one of those people that, I'm a researcher by nature. Like if there's a topic that I want to know something about, I will, go to the library, get books out about it, research it, study it. So, and there's so many things that are attached to the flat earth truth once you go down that path that, and I'm just a very intense person. So, and
I take it you like to be in control as well.
Not necessarily. I don't consider myself very controlling. Why did you say that?
Just because of your thoroughness, the way you're almost like describing. Were you a teacher?
No, but
be my question exactly.
No, I'm not a teacher, but I'm a good trainer. I'm a salesperson and I'm a trainer.
Okay.
So it's just like most flat earthers that are really serious about it, like us. It's like, how can you learn about that and then go back to work and not spend any time looking into all the other big fat lies, because there's a million of them. Yep. And how could you not want to know about the Holocaust now, or, Zionism or chemtrails? How could you not want to do? It's
impossible.
Right.
You can't go back once you go. Yeah, it's the mother. Walt has said this many times. If it's a psyop, it's the mother of all psyops, and whether it's not a psyop, it's the mother of all conspiracies, because
absolutely
it brings everything together.
It does. I call it the gateway to truth.
It's a gateway drug.
Yes.
Stay away from.
It's a gateway drug.
You will notice flat earthers by their dirty fingernails and
there's crusted,
frequent crusted stains.
Oh, I'm about to die. I'll stop.
Flat Earth madness.
Yeah, I keep getting kicked off. Sorry.
We get kicked off at the same time.
Yep.
This is about the 6th time I've gotten kicked off tonight.
Always when it gets interesting.
Yes.
Josh does that, eh? You do realize that.
Josh puts the eject button
on.
He
gets tired of hearing it, right?
Yeah, he just ejects it well, and it's like, haha.
Shut her up.
He's misogynist.
Oh, don't get me started on that
no,
topic.
don't trigger.
No.
Oh, no. That's not a good topic.
Anti-Semite. Speaking of Holocaust, though, to bring up a real beaut, wow. I got sucked into watching that A Day in Auschwitz.
What is that? Like a full-length movie?
It's a 47-minute documentary put together about a survivor who goes back with 2 16-year-old girls to explain everything. And I mean, the way they package it, the way they put it, the way they present it, it is really hard not to get sucked in and emotion-wise.
That's the point.
Oh, sure. They're pulling at your heartstrings.
It is horrible, the stuff that they show and the stuff they did in smaller, isolated pockets, But then you even just knowing what I know now about the construction and the logistics of how it would be logistically impossible to come up with those numbers and the delivery methods and the actual product and pucks and then the fact that they have to
on David Irving.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you guys see that tweet I put out about?
You have to be very careful about tweeting about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll lose a lot of followers.
Well.
Or gain the wrong ones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I understand. Well, it was about the New York Times and other newspapers back in,
Oh yes,
yeah, like
15
way,
times 6 million Jews over
yeah,
and
6
over
million
and over
Jews,
and
6
over and
million
over.
Jews,
Yeah.
6 million Jews are
They're
being
drilling that number into you.
enslaved, and
They
Yep.
have to meet their
6
prophecy.
million.
That's
Yep.
what it's all about. Prophecy that a sixth of them would not come back to the land.
And there was 6, 6, 6, always 6, 6, 6, 6 million, 6 million, 6 million.
Yep. Yep. And they were just
The Russians are genociding us. Then it's the Americans. Then it's the Jews. Then it's anybody and everybody. That was really freaky. Those papers.
Yep. That was like before TV, predictive programming, they used the newspapers. So.
And the headlines of Judea declaring war on Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Again, though, to all those listening, and for anybody who does listen to this in future, I mean, we
We're just
all
asking
agree
questions.
that people died, people were tortured, horrible things happened, but you're not getting the full story. And what is the
Correct.
full story is overblown. I'm
And
not
that's what we're
denying
trying to
anything.
figure
I'm
out.
just saying it's spun out of control.
Mhm.
And
We
you
haven't been
can
given the
do
full
the
story.
research yourself to see that.
You just have to be willing to look into it,
Hmm.
not take everything at face value.
It was actually almost as hard looking at that as believing in the flat Earth.
Yeah, that
Looking
was a tough one for
Oh.
me. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But once your mind is open to the deception that you're starting to uncover, it makes it easier to swallow something like that when you're looking into it. It's like, wow, there's just nothing sacred, basically.
Right. Well, to me,
Yep.
that's the actual biggest part of this, other than hiding the creator, is that by controlling where you think you live from the time you're born to the time you die, they have your mind from that point on. From that point,
Oof.
you'll believe any lie, any story, any crap they feed you, because they've got you convinced you're on a spinning cinder flying through a void somewhere.
That's
me,
the
That's right.
meanest thing to tell
thing
someone they're not where they really are and things aren't. Like from a baby. Imagine that. That is the cruelest fucking thing you can do.
It is
That's
cruel.
like a mild torture technique.
Yeah.
I said to my
MK
older
Ultra.
daughter, I said, if you can distrust your senses,
And there she goes.
Damn, they got her. Yeah, they got her mid speaking.
That was a good quote too.
She was on it. Well, she'll have to come back in with that one.
But yeah, that's kind of the gaslighting technique that they use. Where they
Who are these sons of bitches sniping people right now?
It's got to be Google. I don't know who else it would be.
Who's?
They run Hangouts and YouTube.
This is a message to all you freaks out there, you government molester freaks. Screw off.
Let it go.
Thank you.
sorry, I got kicked off again.
Yeah, you were right. You just had started off on that awesome quote. We were ready.
It was
for
a good quote. It was going to be a
so
good
if
one.
they can go.
Okay, so I told my older daughter, I said, if they can
Action.
convince you that you are on a spinning ball and you don't feel it, so you're ignoring your senses and you're ignoring your common sense, then your brainwashing is complete. And she agreed with that.
We're not even operating
might
at
be
a
on the
tenth of
way.
where we should. If that's true, if they're able to get us to live in a perpetual world of sense denial and sensory concealment,
Mm-hmm.
That's what this whole place is.
we're done. That's it. It's game
Exactly.
over.
Exactly.
We're never going to
People want-
accomplish what we're supposed to, or even think for ourselves that way.
Right. People are like, why hide it? And, you know, they're, of course, we all know they're hiding the creator, but when we're talking about this topic, it's like,
That's
yeah,
like
your
literally taking a baby animal and putting the cone of shame on its head from death, so it can't see anything around it. Just what from the cone at birth.
That's a very
So it
good
doesn't know better.
analogy. That's a
Yeah,
very good
it's horrible.
analogy. Yep.
This is so mean. I'm like offended. I'm emotional now again.
It's abusive.
I need a toy now.
You just
Go
so
right ahead.
stressed.
Aw.
But yeah, I think we
Well,
all go through
what
this
if by the means
emotional ride.
what if they're also accomplishing that by the fact that they're also poisoning you simultaneously, so it's easier for you to become accepting of their ideas?
Well,
Exactly.
they're steadily trying to change what we are. I mean, that's what most of this whole agenda is to change us from the creation that we are and to what they want us to become. Part machine, unisexual, no differential between male or female anymore, no dichotomy.
Ambiguous,
Yeah,
autonomous.
it's just, there's no yin and yang, there's no positive and negative. It's just going to be like blah line of sheepdom. That's what they want, just a straight line of sheepdom to sit there and be their little button pushers and wheat gatherers and etc.
And the ultimate step is probably to accept the mark of the beast.
Well, and that's not going to be what people think it is. You know, Satan is too crafty for that. So I'm sure a lot of us on this call have seen the information from Nicholson 1968 on YouTube.
No, what was that?
Oh my gosh, I highly recommend watching his latest video on transhumanism, because he gets into the mark of the beast and what it is and what the abomination of desolation is. It's basically not talking about the physical temple in Jerusalem. That's kind of like a smoke and mirrors. That's the decoy.
Right.
But the temple is our bodies.
Right.
Yeah, the scripture says, you know, you are the temple of the whole, you know, the Holy Spirit dwells in you. So Satan wants to take over the body. That's the abomination of desolation. And that's the temple that he's going to sit down in, the human body. And the people that take the mark are not even going to realize that that's what it is. But I won't spoil it for you. Watch Nicholson 1968 on YouTube, his latest video on transhumanism.
Yeah,
I forget the title, but it's his latest one. Just came out this week.
Yeah, it's a term that I haven't heard much around. You know, Alex Jones talks about that a lot. He always has.
Be careful with Alex Jones, man.
What does he talk about a lot? What term?
He talked about transhumanism quite a bit.
Oh, transhumanism. Yeah.
Over the years, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know much about it, but I'm a quick study, and that video will teach you a lot in a short amount of time.
And it's here. That's what's crazy. It's here. Right now, you can get Google implants for your eyes. Right now, you can get an implant in your chest that will let you know where magnetic north is at all times as a sense. Not as a icon you bring up on a screen, not as a menu option, as a sense in your brain, in your mind, that you sense where magnetic north is at all times. That's just insanity to me.
Well, you know, they just approved more mandatory vaccinations in California. The next thing is going to be mandatory chip implants at hospitals.
Yep.
Well, stay out of hospitals because they'll kill you.
Yes, they will.
Take your chances at home because they'll kill you.
That's why I spent 3 months in Oregon trying to save my mama from what the medical.
Oh, did she pass away?
Oh, she's fine. I mean, I say she's fine. She's
good.
She's better than I left her. I mean, when I got there, I left her in better shape than when I got there.
Was she in the hospital?
Oh yeah, she was in bad shape. She was on about 8 medications and not doing good. I left, she was down on 2.
Oh, good. She's doing better then. My daughter had a friend whose mother was basically killed in the hospital recently. She went in for something, you know, minor, and they gave her some medication that interacted with what she was already on. And I won't even get into it because it's gross what happened to her, how she died. But, you know, the guy's got a lawsuit. His mother's dead. It's horrible.
Yeah, my mom had the same kind of thing. Her dosage of something went from a 2.5 milligram dose to a 25 milligram dose, and everybody noticed it, and it was bad. The doctor who caught it lost his mind. He was like, I will go back up this chain and find out what happened. Don't worry.
Yeah, but, you know, if she had passed away because of it, like this poor woman did, that's no consolation that he went back up the chain, you know?
Nope.
It's not good. Just try and stay healthy. Stay out of there.
Yeah.
Well, for sure, Prepper. The rest of the group here will definitely share their stuff with you. But I am at FaceBones777 on Twitter. So definitely, if you get on Twitter, come find us. And then I have a YouTube channel. It's Flat Earth Head. So I'll look for yours and try to find that. But I'm about to wrap it up and head out here in a
Patrice,
minute.
Yes.
I'm just seeing on the breaking news now. There, Miami protests in the street, and
In
You're right.
Miami. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
coming.
you-
They're coming
you were-
here tomorrow to Orlando. They must be the same people. They'll bus them up.
Mhm.
All right, got to get them in there.
Yep.
'Cause it's spontaneous, man. What are you thinking?
Yeah. They got Craigslist ads for protesters.
Oh, it's spontaneous.
These
Yeah.
protesters get out of hand, man. They better be careful.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen is these stupid ads getting paid. You know, you're going to have somebody with concealed carry blowing people away.
Do you remember what happened during the Rodney King riots in LA in Koreatown? All the Koreans took to their roofs with their rifles and shotguns.
Yeah. Yeah.
A few people just got sniped.
Of course they did. What's new? And not from the people in Chinatown by Google on the Hangout.
Yep.
Right.
There
And
they
she's
are.
back.
Einstein is in her
I think
bedroom.
Rob and Jersey Girl must have the same. Y'all are at the same house, right? 'Cause y'all
The
both
same
leave and-
house?
Yeah, because y'all both leave and come back at the same time. I'm just messing with y'all. I know y'all are. I'm just giving you a hard time because it's funny. Every time he gets kicked, you get kicked. Y'all must be
I
on the
keep
same-
getting kicked off. It's
I know.
crazy.
And I see
So
him
what were
pop
you
back
saying
on right
about
behind
Rodney
you.
King? There were
What I was saying was back to that time that these really nasty riots broke out in LA and in Koreatown. They didn't want all their businesses looted, like the swap meet and all kinds of stuff. So they went on their roof with rifles and stuff. And, you know, they were ready to shoot people. And they did shoot some people who were about to loot their stores. So, like, these protesters better behave, man, because, like, they're pretty weak. I think the media blows them out of proportion. Because
they totally do.
I've seen them in person. I've gone up to them and been like, "Get the fuck out of my way! Go get a job, you fucking piece of shit bum!" And they don't do anything. They're pussies.
Yeah, they're just paid actors. That's
Exactly. All right, I got to go, guys. Y'all have a good evening. It was great to meet you, Prepper. I'm glad you got back in with us, Treese. And I will
yeah, and
pop
I'm
back
gonna
on
head off
later
too.
in the evening to post.
It was
for
nice
this
talking
thing.
to you all.
Yes, and we'll do this more
It was nice
often.
talking to you, too.
We're getting it down to a science finally.
Yay!
At least getting close, yeah.
Or close, yeah.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and end it here. That way we're not just kind of trailing off
Trailing off.
indefinitely.
Okay.
We'll just go ahead and
That
stop
sounds
it
like a plan,
and
man.
call it a deal.
Well, again, we
Okay.
thank you guys. Thank you all for showing up. That showed up. Anybody that's listening or coming in later to listen later, we appreciate it as well. HaveNoSphere.com, IronRealMedia.com.
Soon to
Anything
be
else?
revamped.
Yeah, it's coming.
Soon to be renamed. Oh, there's a new name coming out. How exciting!
Well, it's going to be IronRealMedia.com still, but the new website's coming out. The website.
Oh, the new website. Oh, okay. And if anybody wants to follow me on Twitter, I'm Space Cowgirl.
Indeed, she is.
Is that a Clint Eastwood reference?
Absolutely.
Pardon me?
Is that a Clint Eastwood reference?
No, it's a joke because I don't believe in space and I am not a cowgirl. So
Oh.
it's a double lie.
Okay.
All right, that was awesome.
Awesome. Well, great. Prepper, thanks for popping in. Rob,
Yes, nice
I don't know
meeting
if
you,
you're
Prepper.
listening,
Find
if
us
you're
on
muted.
Twitter.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Alrighty.
Find
then.
us on Twitter and tell us that you're Prepper so we know it's you.
Roger that.
Okay.
Or pop
Good
into
night,
one of our
everyone.
videos feeds and pop into our channel and make a comment so we can find you.
Yes.
All right, brother.
Nice meeting you. Bye.
Awesome.
All right,
You guys have a great night.
you too.
Night.
Awesome.
See
All
ya.
right, y'all.
Everybody, thanks for popping in.
All right, y'all. Take care. Keep
Bye.
looking up. Keep looking out.
Question everything.